contributing factor, because you sometimes see this kid very. I feel say even though the national, state, or the Ghana Health Service need to educate the public or need to educate the people on the disadvantages of cholera. We now come back advantages and disadvantages of cholera. The people in the town and also parents as a whole also have a responsibility to educate their wards as well.
Okay, Miss Debbie, what do you think of this?
Let me take it from this perspective. Even though the parent has a role to play, I mean, the Ghana Health Service also have a very big role to play. Exactly. Because the Ghana Health Service, yes, we have an association. It's Ghana Health Service, and then we have someone that is actually responsible for the Ghana Health Service. Like we have, let's say, a leader. Even though we have a leader for the Ghana Health Service, a minister has also been designated for Ghana Health Service. So when it comes to diseases like cholera, what's the name of this, typhoid, all this petty diseases and stuffs, they are the same people. Because let me take it this way, funds have been allocated to all the sectors, because even if it is true the recklessness of the living of the constituents or the people, when I go to hospital and there are no medication, how will I get treated? And even if money is being allocated to that sector and is not being used for its purpose, how do you get treated? Because we are in a country where even if the money is being allocated for the sector to be used in purchasing drugs and stuff, they share the money among themselves. Even if they don't share the money among themselves, when the drugs comes, they try to smuggle it out and then sell it and have their own money. Because it has happened at my place where the doctor has been caught before. Because when they bring the medications for treatment, they take what they can, sell it and share the money among themselves, whilst the people suffer. So even though they will have to be educated, but cholera is not something that, as at this moment or this era, we should be struggling with, because you know what cholera is. Even people who are illiterate know what cholera is. A mother who is illiterate know that when I go out or after visiting Obama, you understand Obama, what I meant by Obama? You don't. After visiting
okay, I get it.
A person who is illiterate knows that after visiting Obama, he or she has to wash his or her hands before eating. And then when you go out to buy food, you are very careful, because sometimes, you see, the day we went for, this has even drawn my attention, the day we went for the reporting at, what's the name? Is it Abrantier? And I was saying that, look at the way this place stinks. And then someone is selling both fruits just beside the gutter. And then you go and buy. So this one we should tell you. You get it. So, serious, certain things like this, we also need to know that even though the government has a role to play, we also have a role to play.
To add up to what she said, as she said, with in regards to the reporting at Abrantier, where a refuse dump is, that is the exact same place someone is also selling food. And you yourself can be very clean. You can practice all the hygienic acts, but because sometimes, most of the times, I'll say out of 100% of Ghanaians, almost 99.9% eat outside. So once we eat outside, we do not know how the food are being prepared. Sometimes when the environment where the food is being prepared is very dirty, but we do not see it. They just package the food, bring it. So that is also something they should look into.
And I think teachers and parents should watch what their kids eat, both at school and both at home. The kids, they don't. I feel as if they don't know what they eat. So at least there should be some kind of supervision on what they eat. Try and keep your surroundings clean. It's affecting kids. It's a bit worrying, and I think we need to watch that. So on to our next headline. We have Ghana is no longer a safe haven for corruption. Mahama. So President John Mahama has stated that Ghana is no longer a safe country for corruption, calling on all stakeholders to unite in the fight against these miners. The president warned For those who think they can defraud the states and escape justice, let this serve as a strong warning. Ghana is no longer a safe haven for corruption.
I feel you should start with the past governments.
Yes.
They should be used as scapegoats. They should be used as a deterrent to others. Because I think now he has cancelled some sort of first class flights for MPs.
For government officials.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very, very huge step he has taken.
Yeah.
Because why would you go on a business trip and still take first flight for what?
Business class, economy.
For what? With our money.
What if it's their own money?
It's not their own money.
So you think it's a taxpayer's money
Yes.
they use for?
I remember this newly elected MP made a statement saying that if you think politicians earn a lot of money, or if you think you would make money out of politics, then go back. Our salary is just 150 Ghana cedis. Another remember?
Yeah. That's true.
He says just.
Wow.
Whilst a normal government worker is earning 15 cedis or 16 cedis
A day.
a day. Hey.
That's
Yeah.
so
If I say something about corruption, you'll come and sue all of us here.
But I think the president is very particular about corruption. In his term of government. I think he has learned from his past
mistakes.
Yeah, so he's now back, boot for boot, fire for fire. Woto.
Hey, I go give it to you. Woto.
Good. Let's Debbie.
Yeah, so President Mahama is actually taking a good step, because even when he was elected, when he was elected and wasn't even sworn in as a president, that was when the oral committee came up, and then they are working to, pinpoint people who have actually milked from the state and of course a financial loss to the state. And just yesterday they presented the work they've done. I think the money they think will be retrieved to the country if those people are prosecuted, and then that money is retrieved. I think there will be much development in this country. And so President Mahama is actually doing a very great job, because corruption has become a canker in this country. It has become a sickness, like this chronic sickness called, let's say, malaria. That's what corruption has become in this country, because we are in a country where a politician can actually steal from the state, make money from the state, and then you don't get arrested. And when someone goes to steal a plantain or money, then we jail the person 10 years, 5 years, 4 years in prison. While someone who has actually milked from the state, someone who we all know that this particular person, because they can actually go to parliament and then they'll budget for an amount of money, say they are going to pump it into this kind of business, this stuff, and then they don't come back to account to us what they've used the money for, the outcome of that particular project. No. And then when we identify the person and the person needs to be prosecuted, we don't prosecute the person. That is when they send the case to court, we will keep adjourning the case. You go today, they'll tell you come next month. You will just be going and be like keep wasting your time, and then at the end of the day the case dies out. And so corruption is something very key that needs to be addressed, because a country where corruption cannot be curtailed, trust me, the country will be in a mess. The country will be in distraction. Because for corruption, let me say corruption has become something that we've normalized in African countries, not only in Ghana, African countries. Because let me take your mind back. Former president, I'm not being political here, but we were here where he used a jet whilst there was Falcon in this country. He said there was no washroom in the Falcon, so he needed a place to wash, like, you get it. And it cost the countries, I think, 21 million. Yes, or 18 million or so, 21 million or something. it really caused it. And you see, the jet he used, he wasn't going out to do anything, like say going to, do something. I'm not saying he won't do anything that will benefit Ghanaians though, but he used that jet only to go to France and then seek for arms for Ghanaians. But whilst every day we've been singing this song, Ghana is beyond aid, but we are beyond aid, but we are always going to seek for arms. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't speak good of us as a country. You are coming to borrow money from me, and then you are coming to me with a jet. What do you expect me to think? From the beginning, I know you are not serious. One, you are not serious. And two, it's like you need the money to enrich yourself, not your country. Because you cannot come to me that you want to borrow money from me, and then you are coming to me with a private jet. It means you have a lot. So why will you come to borrow? So there is a question mark when it comes to corruption. We have to do, like, we have to put in so much effort to fight corruption. We have to put in so much effort, and we should make sure that people who milk from the state, people who steal from the state, they should be prosecuted. Because when they are not prosecuted, I feel like when I milk from the state, it's okay, so I can go on to do it. So we just need to be careful.
Okay, so just a quick one before you move to the next headline. With what she is saying, sometimes a minister or an MP would clearly be arrested for this particular crime, especially of corruption, but we will not hear anything regarding it again. They would take the case for like 1 to 2, 3 times, 4 times to court, and that is all. Let me use the case of Cecilia
Dapa, yeah.
See the kind of money which was found under her bed, to the extent that her housekeeper also benefited from that money. As a common Ghanaian like us, we didn't even benefit one kobo. I said the moment I get the money, I'll jack back from Ghana.
Even with her case, we noticed
nothing.
Yeah. Just this current SIC boss now. Look at the money she's spending.
Okay, so there was a debate about
entertainment allowance, fuel allowance, even your children.
Assuming you were in that same state, what would you have done?
Me, I won't leave that power.
Exactly.
Oh, serious? I will enjoy.
Yes.
But you see,
so you are not in her shoes, so you don't know.
You see, she coming out. It has actually brought our mind on something, because we had no idea that that's what they earn. That's why
but with her position, that is what it comes with. You being a CEO, you want me to enjoy the same benefits as a security man.
Here lies the case where the job itself, there is a question mark on it, that it is not really improving or something. And then you are taking 7,000 a month? Insurance, what's the name? Entertainment allowance, gardener allowance, driver's allowance, even your maid. Oh.
Yeah. So President Mahama said Ghana is no longer a safe haven for corruption. And I must say, we are all excited about that. So on to the next. Akufo-Addo was a clearing agent. We must demand accountability. This is coming from Shemima Muslim. A deputy presidential spokesperson has criticized the Akufo-Addo administration, accusing it of shielding officials involved in major corruption scandals and failing to hold political actors accountable for mismanagement of state resources. For you to say Akufo-Addo is a clearing agent, I think that was a bit too harsh. Was he that bad?
He's indeed a clearing agent.
Was he that bad?
Very bad.
Was it that bad for you to come out and say that Akufo-Addo was a clearing agent? Then that was someone made a video and was like, Akufo-Addo is not going to take some of the money and leave the purse. He's taking the whole purse away. And that was what his government did.
Yeah,
I think that was from Sam George.
I'm sure.
That was from Sam George. What do you make of it? Was it really is it really needed that all those that were involved in major corruption scandals should be accountable for the mismanagement of the state's resources?
Yeah. Okay. They need to. They need to, because you've been appointed to do something, you have to be accountable. You have to like come and account to us what went on, what you've used, like that space that has been given to you, the benefit that has the benefit we have on that particular company. So I cannot appoint you into an office or give you a mandate or a power, and then at the end of the day, you don't come to me. Even if you create your own business and then you've employed someone, at the end of the day, those in provision shops or stuff, you have to come and account. Maybe at the end of the day, someone came to buy a bag of rice. This was the amount. Maybe throughout the day I was feeling hungry, so I took 5 cedis, I ate. So you have to account. And so they own us like a whole lot to account on. Okay. If I want to tell you what Akufo-Addo government has done, then the mess they've caused us in this country, we will not live here today. They've really caused it. You see, when you're trying to say certain things like this, like people feel as if we are trying to be mean on the past government, but that's not so. Even this current government, as he has started, things are going on war. But trust me, when we notice it that something is not going on war, we are going to hit on it, because you are there for the benefit of Ghanaians. You are there to serve Ghanaians. You are there to make sure that the lives of Ghanaians are perfect. Even if it is not perfect, they have to live a meaningful life. And so you have to account to us. A lot of money. Today we are doing this. Tomorrow we are doing this. Then at the end of the day, after they've come for the money and we don't see what they are using it for, then they'll come and introduce something that will cause burden on the people. They'll come and, like the e-levy. When they brought the e-levy, they cut cake on top after citizens were crying and wailing.
And drank wine.
You see, so the past election that we've actually experienced has clearly shown that Ghanaians are upgrading their thoughts. They are upgrading the way they think. They are not like the way we used to be. In fact, the foundation of this country is on education. And even the illiterate now are very educated. And so they know when things are very bad. So you have to account to us. It's very necessary. Very, very necessary. Because you cannot be in government for, was it 8 years or 4 years?
8 years.
8 years. And the last time he gave his last speech he gave before he left government, he never mentioned of anything of that sort. Even the National Cathedral issue, he didn't mention of it. But you need to be accountable, because money or fund has been allocated to that side.
Reggie, do you have anything to say?
I'll still use Cecilia Dapa as an example. Because when her issue popped up, which was making waves almost everywhere, I can remember ex-president Akufo-Addo came out to say that Cecilia Dapa was a very, very, very responsible.
Emphasis on the very.
Yes. I was like, as a president, why would you? It's good to shield your officials, but clearly we could see, say, where was that money coming from? For you to say, should I say she was competent, she was professional with her job, so obviously a clearing agent. And I just saw that one radio host on Movement TV, that is Woon to me is an NPP radio station. He came out to say that President Mahama should apologize to Nana-Addo for saying that is it Mahama who said that?
I didn't get that story right.
Because he's saying that President Mahama should come out to apologize to Akufo-Addo for assessing that he is a clearing agent. And right now, the director of communications at the presidency, Mr. Eugene Ahin, has also said that whatever they are saying is baseless. Whatever allegations, accusations labeled against President Akufo-Addo is baseless, because they've investigated. Any official which was accused of corruption has been thoroughly investigated by the Ghana Police Service, the Crime Investigation Department. All these people he is mentioned should come out to give us evidence, because we've not seen any evidence anywhere. We've not seen any documents anywhere saying that all these people which were accused of corruption have been vindicated. Akufo-Addo,
To whoever is shielding the Kufado administration who have involved themselves in corruption scandals should wait. Very soon, you will be caught and you will be brought to justice.
The Aura Crown, they said the Aura is not working, it's business. It should.
Very soon, you see it working. This is the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, and you are tuned into your favorite online radio station. You can join in the conversation on all our socials. Twitter, now known as X, Ghana Talks Radio. On Instagram, we are Ghana Talks Radio. On TikTok, we are Ghana Talks Radio. YouTube, Ghana Talks Radio. On Facebook, Ghana Talks Radio. And you can join us with your views and comments on our WhatsApp line 020-2544-614 or 020-544-614. Yeah, so on to our last headline. Military engineers visit Esioko to address dangerous school routes for children. Omanebuama. The Minister of Defense, Dr. Edward Omanebuama, has announced that engineers from the Ghana Armed Forces have visited the Esioko community in the eastern region to assess the challenges faced by school children who are forced to cross a dangerous water body to access education. This development follows the directive from President John Mahama for the problem to be tackled urgently after a video went viral. I don't know if you saw a video that went viral and you saw how the kids were
very dangerous.
That was a branch from a tree that fell. That's how.
And I don't know if it's a river, stream, whatever.
And that's very dangerous, and I think we need to work on that immediately before there's any loss of life.
God being so good, I think Mahama has taken
This is
a very major step to He posted it, and yesterday I also saw a video where certain people were around that place assessing everything. But yesterday I was telling Sister Debbie that if I was to be that kid, school no massign. School no.
Because that's very dangerous. That is you putting the life of the kids at risk.
The last time, just within this week, I saw a video where some kids were also in a canoe, were in a boat, sailing themselves, crossing a very huge river to school without no protective equipment, nothing, no life jacket. So what if that boat, what if that boat has capsided? What would we say? So are they trying to say there is no MP or assemblyman within that constituency? Yesterday, in regards to Akolane video, I saw said the assemblyman went around to give the child money. And I was like, look at this.
Is it money that is going to solve?
I'm not going to talk because people are actually saying what I want to say this morning. So when I'm doing I'll chip it in.
Okay. Wow, we have finally come to the end of the newspaper review. Thank you for joining us on today's newspaper review. We are still on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, and up next we have Debbie's Corner.
Good morning. Welcome to Debbie's Corner, where critical state concerns are analyzed void of politics, fear, or favor. This morning I'm deeply sad, very, very sad. Sad because when the foundation of a country is weak, you will see destruction. When the foundation of a country is very weak, it delays the progress of the country. What is the foundation of our country, Ghana? For me, the foundation of this country is education. Because if you're not educated in this country, even though we know that without education you can actually get something to feed on, but education is basically everything in this country. Even works that does not demand certificate, degree or PhD, you still need to know how to speak the basic side of English. Whether you can you pick this for me? Yes, please. Can you do this, that? And so education is the fundamentals or the foundation of development or progress. But what do we see today? I won't blame this current government so much, because what has been handed to him is what he has in his hands as it stands now. We are in a country where students go to school for 3 weeks and then they come back home to stay for 3 months. But you will bear with me that those days you go to school 3 months and then you come home first semester, first term you stay in the house say 1 week, second term 2 weeks, and then maybe third term you have to have say 1 month to stay at home. But you go to school for 3 weeks and then you come home to stay for 3 months. What kind of education system is this? Even when we go to school for 3 months, when you are done with school, you don't even complete the syllabus sometimes. And then going to school for 3 weeks and then staying at home for 3 months. We pay so much attention to the tertiary institutions and we forgot about the basic and the secondary education. But the basic and the secondary education is a step and a foundation to push you into the tertiary institution. We're in a country where they'll come and they'll tell you we are giving free accommodation to tertiary educations, we are giving them free first term education or whatever to do, and then we forget about the basic schools, we forget about the secondary schools. Go to some remote areas in this country, you will find out that students sit on the floor to learn. Some of these teachers have even stopped going there. If you are being posted into these remote areas, most of the teachers don't go there, because I can't go to an area where there is nothing to use to teach. And so if I'll go to a place that there is basically nothing to use as example to teach this student, that is better I don't even go. We need a lot to do when it comes to the basic and the secondary education. You see, I salute His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama. Yesterday he posted a video. It was so disheartening. Students walking on a log to go to school, climbing trees to go to school, walking 12 kilometers to go to school. I won't even go far. Last year, Wager, 9 students died because they were using boats to access education. They were using boats to access education. Haruna Idrisu, Mr. Haruna Idrisu, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Minister of Education, you have a lot to do. Trust me. You have a lot to do when it comes to basic and secondary education. Not to even talk about the food they feed. Headmasters of these schools actually steals food meant for students. Pinama headmaster, wherever you are, I greet you, I salute you. Food meant for students, you are selling it. Chito Secondary School, tin tomatoes meant for students, you are selling it. So should we blame ourselves? Should we blame the leaders? Who are we to blame? Because at the end of the day, you are the same people who will come out to blame the government that they are not doing their work. Funds has been allocated to the education sector, but up to now we don't know what they are using it for. Then they are feeding our students with Milo tea that you can actually see your face in, groundnut soup that you can actually see your whole body in the soup. But they've been sending food and stuffs there. A whole headmaster, former DCE, and also a chairman for the New Patriotic Party. Why? There is a big question mark. And you see, when the foundation is weak, as I said, it destroys everything. Tell me a student who has not passed through basic education, secondary education, and straightforward into the tertiary education. It does not happen anywhere. You have to pass through the basic education, because you cannot just stand up and then straight you are in the tertiary education. It's a step-by-step something. And so just as we pay attention to the tertiary institution, we should also pay attention to the basic education. We should pay attention to secondary education. It's very bad. We are copying, and then we are copying blindly. We copy a lot from these Western countries. Even if they are running a double track system in the Western countries, the system is working. I won't blame the current government, as I said, because that's the type of education that has been handed over to them, and so they have a lot to do. They have a lot of assignment to work on, a lot of homework to work on. We can't be in a country that basic education students have to sit on the floor. 21st century we claim to be, but we sit on floor to learn. And then these students are suffering. You see, we talk too much. The English, we speak big English, but we don't work it. We don't walk our talk. It is becoming too much. It's becoming too much. We have to do something about it. We can't claim to be in the 21st century. We can't claim to be in the 21st century where things are still going bad, when things are going wrong. As I said, in Ghana, the foundation of this country is education. And if education is solidly the foundation of this country, then let's pay attention to it properly. Let's put things right and let's do the right thing. Even the Ghana Education Service themselves, they are confused, because you go to school 3 weeks and then you are back home. First, we know that when you go to school September, October, November, you know you come back home. And then somewhere in December, maybe you resume, or Christmas, and then you come. So we know that after every 3 months we are back home, and then sometimes we are back to school. But everything has been put in a mess, because students do not know the time they will go to school. They don't even know the time they are coming back, and so you be there and then they'll be giving notice. Sometimes they give the notice to, they don't work on it, and then they have to keep postponing it. And then parents who don't have money, they have to go and be taking loans, because you cannot go to school for 3 weeks and come and stay in the house 3 months. And so they are forced to send their wards to private schools or get them a teacher to teach them at home before going back to school. Which kind of system is this? Trust me, that system currently, when it comes to education, is not working. And so to the Minister Designate for Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, please, you have a work to do. You have a very big issue to tackle when it comes to education in this country, because it's very, very sad. We cannot concentrate in Greater Accra. We cannot concentrate in some schools in this country, and then we will use this to cover everything and say we are fine. And then we say the education system is okay. I don't even talk about our curriculum and what we study at school. But some of the things we study at school is non-fact. But you study, someone wants to be a journalist. Well, let's say me, I want to be a journalist, and sometimes you be studying certain things in school, and at the end of, I'm here, I'm not using some of the things here because it's not needed here. So we need to be very, very careful. And then we also need to tackle the educational system, very especially when it has to do with the basic and then the secondary education. We have a lot to do. Let's leave this side and then go to the remote areas where there are no lights. Go there and make sure that things are being fixed, because they are part of this country. And I was excited when President Mahama said they are going to do everything possible to make sure that the students have comfort, and then make sure that when they learn, they get it. Because you cannot learn in unconducive environment. Everything has to be conducive. Learning has to do with a lot of stuff, not just going to school and learning. You cannot study in a classroom where there is no chair to sit, a school where you have to walk 12 kilometers to the school. When you get to the school already, you are tired. And so what the teacher is saying is absolutely nonsense to you, because you don't actually know what the teacher is saying, and you cannot get what they are saying. And so to cut it short, let's pay critical attention to secondary and basic education, because they are a step to attain higher achievement. I didn't just stand up and then I'm not sure any of us just got up one day and we said we are going to the university. No. We went to nursery, crèche. Just look at this. We went to crèche, went to KG, went to primary, went to SHS, and then to the university. So please, there is a lot to do. There is a lot to do. And so we are taxing them. We are taxing them. The Ministry of Education, the GES, we are taxing them to do their work. And then the members of parliament and stuff. Sometimes a member of parliament is in a constituency and he himself doesn't know what is going on. You see, it's a pity when this incident has to come out before you see the member of parliament in that constituency going to help. So are you trying to say that for that long time you don't know the particular problem of your community, or you are just being blindfolded not to talk about it? We have a problem. Oh. We have a problem. There is a big question mark. We have a very big problem in this country. A very big problem. Let's take note and work towards our education system. Because show me a foundation of a country that is weak, and I'll show you a country that is in a mess. A country that is in a ditch. Let's work on it. Let's do our part. As for us, we will see it and we'll come to say it. Because that's what we are meant to do. The rest of the task is in your hands. Thank you. Who said it? Thank you very much.
Hey, Sister Debbie.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that was Miss Debbie on Debbie's Corner, where she comes and say things with a full chest.
Hey.
Yeah. You are still tuned in to GhanaTalks breakfast show. You can log on to our social media platforms at GhanaTalks Radio on Facebook, GhanaTalks Radio on TikTok, GhanaTalks Radio on YouTube, and GhanaTalks Radio on X. Up next, we have Today in History. Miss Regina, what do you have for us in Today in History?
Yeah, I'm not come to fire anyone.
Yes, tell us. We are ready to learn. Yes, educate us.
Okay, so welcome to another segment of Today in History. Did you know, where we uncover the fascinating facts and forgotten stories? So today in history, in 1966 in Ghana, on February 11, 1966, Mr. Mumuni Bawumia, the Minister of Local Government in Ghana, announced government decision barring civil servants or public officers from election as chairman of local councils. In 1951, Kwame Nkrumah and his convention People's Party made history on February 11, 1951 by winning the first legislative election in Ghana, then known as the Gold Coast. This victory was a significant milestone in Ghana's fight for independence from British colonial rule. On also February 11, this is a general something. The International Day of Women and Girls in Science is celebrated on February 11th every year. This day is a reminder of the importance of promoting equal opportunities for women and girls in science, technology, and engineering and mathematics fields. So moving to Today in History in the world, 1990, Nelson Mandela, a South African political leader, was released from prison after serving more than 27 years. Today marks that day. So 1945, Allied leaders signed the Yalta Accords during the final month of World War II. So the Yalta Conference was a pivotal meeting of Allied leaders during World War II, held from February 4th to 11th, 1945, attended by U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. The conference aimed to shape post-war reorganization, particularly in Europe. So 1979, today in history, Ayatollah Khomeini's followers took power in Iran. So his followers took power in Iran on February 11, 1979, marking the beginning of the Islamic Republic of Iran. This followed a period of widespread protests and demonstrations against the ruling Shah, Mohammad Reza, who had fled the country on January 16, 1979. To our lives today in history, 1847, Thomas Edison was an American inventor, entrepreneur, and engineer who developed and commercialized numerous groundbreaking technologies, including the phonograph, the motion picture camera, and the first practical incandescent light bulb. So moving to Did You Know for today? Did you know that butterflies taste with their feet? Yes. You don't know, I'm telling you. Butterflies taste with their feet. And also the shortest bone in the human body is the stapes bone in the middle ear. We have a short bone in the human system, which is the stapes bone in the middle ear. So our last Did You Know for today, the shortest war in history was between Britain and Zanzibar on August 27th, 1896, and it lasted for only 38 minutes. What is The shortest war in history between Britain and Zanzibar lasted for only 38 minutes.
And what's brought about that war? Did you know butterflies taste with their legs?
With their feet.
With their feet. Butterfly, they have feet.
Tortoise is called
Jonathan.
Oh yes. Yesterday we got to know a tortoise was
That's what that one is in my head.
The oldest tortoise.
The oldest tortoise
is called Jonathan.
Jonathan. How old would that tortoise be?
192.
What?
Wow.
And I ain't nipa testing not tortoise.
Okay, so sister is now that's all for today.
Did you know butterflies taste with their feet? You don't know. Go and bring a butterfly. Let's see if we have it. Thank you so much, Regina, for today in history. And I must say, that was so educative and insightful. I learned a lot, and I hope you also know now that butterfly taste with their feet. So joining me in the studio is going to be, so right after the news, Mr. Pakisi Omar will be joining me in the studio. Yeah, so can we have the news? Okay, so Pakisi is already in the studio. Pakisi, good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you doing yourself?
I'm good. Hope you slept well.
I tried.
You tried.
I tried.
You tried. But what was the problem? Why didn't you sleep? Were you thinking about something? Did you miss somebody?
I was just thinking about where we've come as a country. And with this new administration, the first 30 days of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Yeah, stuff like that. So it kept me awake for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a concerned citizen right there. Have you slept on your bed to think about how the country is going? Have you? All you know is that Nyamankoye. Can you do something about it? It's all about you too. You too. What are you also doing for the country? Yes.
But how have you been yourself?
This is
I must say I'm good.
The best station
I've been
rocking the nation.
Yeah. I just can't wait to laugh at some people on Val's Day, you know. The way some people are already
Yes, Val's Day.
Anticipatory mood.
On Friday, right?
Yes, on Friday.
Okay.
And I guess I can't wait.
Any plans that
I don't have any plans.
made
As I
for
said
someone?
earlier, I am single. Yeah, I'm single. But I'm not ready to mingle, by the way. But I can offer you my friendship. Yeah, I'm not ready to mingle, but I can offer you my friendship. Yeah.
So good morning once again. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show on Ghana Talks Radio. I am your host Pakwesi with my very able, beautiful Isinam coming your way this morning again with all the hot news to kickstart your day. Today we'll be looking at quite a bit of stuff that yesterday the entire country
Yeah.
celebrated 30 days of the president
In power.
coming into office. Yes,
Ghana
that
Talks
was something
Radio,
that, as I said
#1.
earlier, kept me awake for a while.
Mm.
So I hope our viewers enjoy today's conversation just as they did yesterday. You can join us on Facebook, on Twitter, formerly known as X. You can join us on TikTok and on Instagram with our handles at Ghana Talks Radio. You can also join the conversation through our WhatsApp via our lines 0202 544 614. 0202 544 614. You can send your comments and your views on the discussions this morning. So, Essie,
Yeah.
yes, yesterday, 30 days of JDM's taking over
Yeah.
as our president. How has it been?
Let me see.
Yeah.
He's doing his best.
His best.
Yes. He's really doing his best. And as he has been a president before, he has been in those shoes before, and he
This is
knows
Ghana
what
Talks
is like.
Radio.
And
the
with the
best
promises
station
that he
rocking the
has
nation.
given to we Ghanaians, and we are expecting from him to fulfill those promises, I think he's doing everything in his power not to let us down. So, from our own opinion, I think he's doing well, because already he has already set an oral committee to do an investigation on the Akufo-Addo administration, how corruption took place in this country.
Corruption, one of the topics that we will be discussing this morning.
He said
So,
in
yeah.
one of his conversations that Ghana is no longer a safe haven for corruption. And I think with that statement, he would do anything in his power to make sure that corruption is swept out of our system.
We all hope so, that
Yeah.
corruption gets swept out of our system, because it has become a national canker
Yeah,
that we've been
yeah.
battling with for quite
Yeah.
some time. And yes, if the president can actually take some bold steps to help curtail this menace from our system, I think it will do a great
it will
deal
do
to
a
the
great
country.
job.
Yeah.
It will go a long way if he should initiate that. I think that will help us all. At least everyone will be accountable for whatever they do in their office.
But then, looking at his first term in office, yes, we do know that these are early days.
Yeah.
Too young to judge, honestly. But,
Yeah.
I mean, mpanyinfoɔ say agorɔ bɛyɛ da efiri anɔpa.
If you're not pa.
Enti yɛhwɛ n'anɔpa yi a wɔahwɛ a, I mean, the momentum with which he's began his work, because we can tell right from the day that he was sworn in, the next day he was in Boku.
Yeah, he was.
Tackling the issues going on in Boku, something that, I mean, we've all been worried about. We don't know how to curtail that, but I hope that whatever steps he's taking can bring an end to that conflict in Boku.
Yeah.
So yes.
But why is the people of Boku always fighting? Is it that they enjoy doing it, or there is? I know there's a problem though, but I mean,
Yes, you really believe that people enjoy fighting?
I feel some people just enjoy it. It's just their habits. If they don't fight like a day, I say like
I think that the whole Boku issue stems from some chieftaincy disputes.
Yeah.
And, so two tribes fighting over.
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
But I do hope and
Ghana
believe that
Talks
whatever
Radio,
step that the president
number
it
one.
should be resolved
Yeah,
immediately before another world war.
Sure. So, yes, you are with us on Ghana Talks Radio. This is the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. And we will be having our guest very soon with us, Mr. Ofejima, to talk about some of the things that has been going on in the country that we really hope and wish that gets addressed very soon. We'll be talking about the state, the menace of corruption, and also one of the biggest challenges we are having as a people, as a country, which is the unemployment rate in the country. The conversation has always been, whether it stems from our educational system or it stems from the country not being able to provide jobs for the people, even though they are qualified. Some people argue that there are jobs, but there are not much people qualified for such positions, and so it makes it difficult to get them employed into such spaces. Today, all these things will be discussed on the show. You can also join in on our social platforms at GhanaTalks Radio on Twitter, which I don't know when I can get this away, but X is becoming very difficult for me to say. But then you can join us on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok at GhanaTalks Radio. You can send your comments, your views. You can join us on YouTube as well, and via WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 0202 544 614. 0202 544 614. Join the conversation and let's have a discussion. Izzy?
Yes.
We will be going for our morning news, and when we come back, we get the discussions rolling. So stay tuned as the news comes your way.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Daybreak News here on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up in this morning's bulletin, Oral Team received 2,417 complaints. Ablakwa. Conduct immediate investigations into oral report, Mahama tells Attorney General. Appointments Committee, strict protocols needed to forestall vetting chaos. The Fiamekbo and in the Volta region, Council of State election heats up as an aspirant outlines vision for development. This business, sports and showbiz is coming in this morning's bulletin. The news will be read by Awintemi Akansukum. Now let's settle for the details. The Operation Recover All Loot Oral Committee has disclosed that it has so far received 2,417 complaints from individuals and civil society organizations, CSOs. The chairman of the Oral Committee, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, revealed this Monday, February 3rd, during the presentation of the team's final report to President John Dramani Mahama. This initiative is part of ongoing effort to combat corruption and recover misappropriated public resources. He emphasized the necessity of the oral committee, questioning what the petitioners would have done if the president had not established it. Now, in a related development, President John Dramani Mahama has instructed Attorney General and Minister of Justice Dr. Dominic Ayine to begin immediate investigations into allegations of corruption and financial malfeasance uncovered by the Operation Recover All Loot Committee. He further charged the Attorney General to prosecute persons found guilty of corruption or related offences, emphasizing zero tolerance for financial misconduct. President Mahama reaffirmed his administration's commitment to fighting corruption, adding, "To those who stand for integrity, accountability, and the rule of law, I assure you that this government remains your steadfast partner in building a nation where honesty and hard work are rewarded." President Mahama described the Oral Committee's initiative as a bold step in combating corruption, stressing that the diversion of the public funds not only undermines national development but also erodes public trust and deepens inequality. Meanwhile, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Minister of Foreign Affairs and former chairman of the Operation Recover All Loot Oral Committee, has disclosed that Ghana stands to recover an estimated $21.19 billion if ongoing investigations into 36 high-profile cases of financial malfeasance and state-line land capture are successfully pursued. Speaking during the official presentation of the Oral Committee's report to President John Mahama, and the North Tongue MP outlined the potential financial recoveries, which he said could significantly reduce the country's reliance on International Monetary Fund support and its associated conditionalities. Now, moving to other stories, Majority Chief Whip Roxanne Nelson Dafiamokpo has emphasized the need for strict protocols to prevent chaos during vetting proceedings. Speaking on the matter when he appeared before the committee investigating the chaos that ensued during vetting proceedings Thursday, January 30, Dafiamokpo highlighted the importance of adhering to established practices and conventions within parliamentary committees. He stressed the importance of making committees decision through voting to ensure clarity and prevent misunderstandings. So I think that going forward, we should have strict protocols. Protocols already exist. Practices exist. Conventions exist. The caucus that constitutes committee, if you disagree with the committee's decision, first committee decisions must also be reduced to voting, so that somebody doesn't come later in the day and say that we agreed that we will do this and you are doing the other thing. The Fiamokpo stated, once we agreed on a certain position, let us vote. It becomes the decision of the committee, not a single person's decision. That is one thing I think we must do. That is our protocol, but I think we don't enforce it strictly, he explained. Now, moving to the Volta region this morning, as the race for Volta region's Council of State representative intensify ahead of February 11 election, Dr. David Kofi Waku, one of the aspirants, has presented a bold and transformational vision for the region's future, with a focus on IT development, entrepreneurship, and economic growth. Dr. Waku is positioning himself as a strategic leader the Volta region needs to drive progress. Addressing key stakeholders, traditional leaders, and voters, Dr. Waku outlined his 6-point agenda aimed at making the Volta region a hub for digital innovation, job creation, and alternative livelihoods. His campaign has gained momentum as he promises to leverage his extensive global network to attract investment and create employment opportunities for young people. Dr. Waku's vision includes establishing IT training centers across all 18 metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies in the region. This initiative seeks to equip both men and women with essential digital skills, positioning the Volta region as a center for IT expertise. Additionally, he plans to introduce a merit-based scholarship scheme for young talents pursuing higher education in information technology. Moving straight to some business, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, is calling for an independent audit into the financial performance of the bulk energy storage and transportation bus company under the Gold for Oil G40 program. COMAC's demand comes amid growing concerns that a policy designed to alleviate foreign exchange pressures by using Ghana's gold reserves to purchase refined petroleum products has failed to deliver its intended benefits. Under the G40 initiative, the government aimed to stabilize domestic fuel prices, yet COMAC contends that the policy has only met about 30% of Ghana's petroleum needs and has not significantly improved forex stability. The chamber argues that
involvement in oil trading, despite lacking prior experience in the sector, has led to significant financial losses and potential fuel shortages. In addition, the chamber is also advocating for a strategic shift from gold for oil to gold for forex model, where gold reserves would be used to stabilize the foreign exchange market, thereby ensuring that all oil importers have access to sufficient forex liquidity. COMAC is urging broader structural reform in Ghana's downstream petroleum sector, including increased investment in domestic refining capacity, enhanced fuel storage and distribution network, and tighter regulatory oversight to eliminate inefficiencies. While the government has yet to comment on these proposals, industry analysts suggest that a thorough review of best financial performance could be pivotal in reshaping Ghana's strategy for managing its natural resource wealth and sustaining economic stability. Now, moving straight to some sport, Accra Hearts of Oak Sporting Club and Kumasi Asante Kotoko Sporting Club have released a joint statement demanding a wide-ranging set of reforms. The Ghanaian Giants Club released a statement earlier Monday, February 10, in a show of diplomatic force to get the Ghanaian top flight back on track after several years of decline. This statement release comes in the wake of violent clashes that took place during and after Kotoko's Week 19 league game against Nsotreman FC in Nsotre. The clashes led to the death of popular Kotoko fan Francis Yapole Frimpong via stabbing. The league has since been suspended with its return date yet to be determined. A series of meetings have been held between the Ghana Football Association, Kotoko, and other stakeholders in Ghana football, including Ghana Premier League teams and Access Bank Division 1 teams, to address fan hooliganism. In a joint statement, Hearts and Kotoko have called for the running of the league to be taken from the GFA and handed to an autonomous body, with both teams having automatic spots on the GFA's executive committee moving forward. Now, moving straight to some showbiz, Ghanaian artist Trigmatic has recounted how he escaped a deal from a record label in the United Kingdom at the nascent stage of his career. According to him, the label promised glamour, but upon consultation, he realized the deal would have cost him ownership of the masters to his debut album, Permanent Stains. Speaking to Kwame Darcy on Joy FM, Trigmatic noted that some record label deals can be limiting to an artist's craft and career, but the onus lies with the artist to weigh options and decide what to do when such offers comes. According to Trigmatic, because they used to frequent Ghana, he had interest in working with them. He said when he went to their office in the UK, they showed him the cars and studios. When I got the contact, I would have signed if I didn't have a lawyer, because at the time I was having my issues with my former manager Godfred, and they wanted me to relocate. On the label, they had one very big female musician in the world, and when they had one very big male musician whose origin was Ghana, so I knew that's me. If I joined that label internationally, I was gone. He said he had even signed a deal in his head, but he decided to send a contract to his lawyer to go through. Trigmatic mentioned that because he wasn't happy with his lawyer's advice, he did not talk to him for about a year and a half, because he thought his lawyer had spoiled his opportunity. And that's it with the Daybreak News on Ghana Talks Radio. Log on to www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more of these stories. The news was read by Awentemi Akansukum. I say thanks so much for making time. Good morning.
So that was Awentemi Akasuko with the Ghana Talks news for this morning. We are back in the studios and we take off on the Ghana Talks breakfast show.
Yes.
So last night, something happened.
What happened? Brief me.
There was a fire outbreak in a warehouse at Tema industrial area.
Ooh.
Yes, and if we can recount the number of times we've experienced fire outbreaks in the country this year, I think it's becoming something.
I think it's
Because,
alarming.
yeah, over the weekend there was another fire outbreak at the Techiman markets again, and there was a fire outbreak on the Medina Rest Junction to Agbogba Road.
Wow.
Yes, over the weekend. Then we had another one at a warehouse in Tema yesterday. So this fire outbreak is becoming something that we really need to pay critical attention to as a nation and as a people, because and you see, we just had a devastating news yesterday that a veteran actor has also been involved in some fire events.
Mr. Mauli.
Mr. Mauli.
Yeah.
So what exactly is going on with all these happenings and unfortunate incidents of fire outbreaks?
With what that happen in an industrial area, but what are they into? Are they into tea rolls? I learned they're into tea rolls and
we don't have the very details of what happened yet, but then fortunately for us, we will be going to speak with the National Communications team member of the Ghana National Fire Service very soon on our lines in the studio, Mr. Alex Ken.
Okay. At
to
least
give us a detailed
an insight of how it happened and then what advice he has for other companies.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think this is something we need to pay attention to.
We really need to. We really
from
need
our
to pay
markets
attention.
to our workplaces, our offices,
even in their homes.
Even in the homes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, whether it's physical negligence or spiritual.
It has nothing to do with spirituality. This one, the Obinsa not necessarily that Obinsa, but I think it boils down on us.
Yeah.
How to keep
really
our appliances and then
sure.
What particular items to buy.
That's true. So moving on with the conversation, you are still tuning on Ghana Talks Radio, and this is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. You can join us on the discussion on all our social media platforms, on TikTok at Ghana Talks Radio, on Instagram at Ghana Talks Radio, on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Ghana Talks Radio. You can also join via WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp numbers are 0202544614, 0202544614. Join the conversation, add your views and comments, and make the conversation a discussion between you and I. Thank you. So, back to Mohammed's 30 days in office.
Yeah.
He made some promises. In fact, it was
he did.
120-day social contract with the Ghanaian people. Out of the 120, we've already seen him do 30 days.
Yeah.
Per your evaluation, how has it been?
So
do
far,
you
so
think
good.
some of the things that he signed a contract with us to oversee or partake has been yet achieved?
So he mentioned that he was going to take the e-levy off.
Yeah.
I'm still paying e-levy when I send my
E-levy. I think that's one of the taxes that everyone is crying against.
And he said when he takes it off,
Yeah.
he's going to bring back the toll booths.
Yeah.
And I think that is fine.
That is fine. Yes,
That
and
is
the
fine.
toll booth, there's been a communication from
Yeah.
the presidency that it will be brought back. I think, is it in June or in July? Yeah, somewhere around then. So
The
we
toll
should be
booth will be
expecting.
back.
Yeah.
But the toll booth has been destroyed, meaning they have to rebuild it again. Because if you go to the Temamoto Way, it has been destroyed. And then when you go to, I think, after Weja, or when you're going to Kaswa, the toll booth there has also been destroyed. I think it's full with rubbish. Oh, Charlie.
That's quite unfortunate. But that's also going to be another cost to bear by the taxpayer and the taxpayers' money. So, But then it's a good thing. The toll booth needs to come back so that some nuisance taxes would go off. I mean, the e-levy, it's really irritating.
Very.
Very irritating.
Very, very
the complaint. I am yet to hear anyone ever since the introduction of the e-levy speak delightfully of it. So it shows how it's an inconvenience to us. So yes, he haven't taken that off. He still has about 90 days to go. So what other things that? Let's look at some of the things that he's implemented. In his first 30 days, he promised a lean government, about 60 ministers to work with. There were, people who were opposed to that, people who were in doubt of that. But so far, we've seen him nominate about 56 ministers.
But I think he's going to nominate more in addition to what he has nominated already.
He's done 56. He gave us 60. So we expect him to
during Ekufuado's term, how many? I think we had about 100 and something.
Yes, about 120 ministers.
120 ministers.
So 56 ministers nominated so far, and 42 has already been sworn in
into office.
It's been swift by him, because he said that in his first 14 days that was going to be achieved or established or something. And so far so good. We've seen him do.
I'm trying to look for Mohammed's promises in 30 days.
So 56 ministers nominated, with deputies as well. We have 23 ministers. We have 16 regional ministers. We have 13 deputy ministers.
Wow.
Yes. So, and we have 4 ministers of states. Now, looking at some of the people who is nominated and sworn into these ministries, yesterday there was a conversation about some of his appointments and all, but today, particularly based on the ministries, do you think we are seeing capability in the
ministers?
Yeah,
those that have been
nominated and sworn in.
Well, you and I don't know them. Muhammad does.
He does.
And I think he has seen that they have the ability and then the capability to perform whatever task that he has nominated them to be in.
Yeah.
So I think we should just like yesterday we said, we should be optimistic about what they are going to bring to the table. Yeah, we have to be optimistic about what they will bring to the table.
So it boils down to optimism now and faith. But then we also see some things that he's done which weren't even a part of the promises he made. So we can look at
I have the document here.
Okay.
But let me read it out. The president promised to nominate within the first 14 days the complete list of a cabinet minister for parliamentary approval. Wow. Do you think he has achieved that? Within 14 days, he was able to nominate those cabinet ministers he wants the parliament to approve.
Yeah, he has. He has. All these people. As we were saying earlier, 42 already sworn in. So 56.
Okay. And he also promised to constitute the leanest and most efficient government under the Fourth Republic in his 90 days in office.
Yes, so with that, you see, leanest, which is the 60 ministers.
Yeah.
Now, we are yet to see the efficiency.
Yeah, the efficiency of it.
Yes. It's a good thing. It cuts down costs to the states. But then, as to the efficiency of it is something that we should be looking forward to. We just hope
let's hope for the best. He also promised to hold a national economic dialogue to discuss the true state of the economy and prepare a homegrown fiscal consolidation program to guide the budget.
Yeah,
has he done
that? That has also been done. He's been holding engagements with specific stakeholders of the state, and let's see what emanates from all these engagements.
He also promised to commence drafting needed legal amendments and prepare for implementing the 24-hour economy policy under the office of the president.
I think that's also been handled by Gusitano.
Yeah, I just saw that.
In all, we can actually say that he is on course.
Yeah, these are a few of the promises he has made so far, and then he has achieved them. Yeah. Someone would say he has overachieved them.
Over achievements, I don't know. But you say
let's give him the chance. Let's be optimistic about.
Let's be optimistic about some of these things. So, we can also look at the steps he is taking in the Boku, trying to resolve the conflicts there. It wasn't even stated, but then he's trying to, do something about it. We are also looking at, yesterday there was a press release from the Sugarcane Farmers Association of Ghana, where they were also being grateful and thankful to the president, because the president has assured them that the Commander Sugar Factory, which has been abandoned for years now, is going to be operationalized again.
Finally, it's going to be.
So they were happy. They wrote a statement to him, because I think last week, the president spoke to them or made a statement to assure them about that factory. You see. But we will be going on the line to speak to one of their PROs, the Sugar Cane Farmers Association's PRO, to give us a much detailed about some of these things, because it was a factory that we were all looking forward. The job creation from that factory, the revenue we were going to gain and all that. So for it being abandoned till now and getting assurance, yes, I think it's some good news too. Also, there has been calls for constitutional amendments.
Because
people actually think that 1992 constitution has been out of mode and
outdated. So they need to have a proper sit down and then revise it again.
So,
but this is a constitution that has been there since for a decade. Why is it that he is coming and then he wants to come and do changes?
In fact, the people who uphold the laws of the land themselves are crying for a constitutional review, because some of them believe that there's been this conversation that constitution, the 1992 constitution, was circled around a particular regime, an administration. It didn't really look far. Yes, so it doesn't have that diverse advancements as time goes on. So having a review of it, adding some things, taking some things out, is going to help.
It's going to help.
Yes, but I just hope that they tailor it much better than we are seeing before.
Than it was before.
Yeah.
It wouldn't come, and then it's going to be like how it was formerly, or even worse
than
that.
So then also there's been the issue of the Attorney General office. The newly appointed Attorney General, Dominic Ayine.
Wama. Yeah. Is it? No, he's Ayine.
Yeah. Dominic, people are saying that he has begun clearing people. And most of these people are members of the NDC who were facing some charges and prosecution under the previous administration.
Okay.
So him taking over and discontinuing these issues or charges are raising some alarms in the country, because why is a person facing charges? Then you come and you say you are dropping those charges.
Or patches saying Pako now or be casa saying Unim Yansa. Don't know Nim Yansa saying
You know, and this cycle of, because we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
That's not the first time.
Yeah.
Every time a party comes into power, they kind of release some people from potential punishments. So what is all that? Are they telling us that the person was wrongfully charged, or the case is of no interest to the state?
Maybe it could be. What do you count as?
Yes, it's alarming.
Yeah, it is.
Probably they might have some right reasons, because yesterday I heard the spokesperson for the presidency, Honorable Felix Pachi, saying that the Attorney General's office will come out in few weeks to give reasons as to why they've dropped some of these charges. Yes, so we just hope these reasons come with better explanations and make sense to the entire public.
I think that will help.
Yeah,
that will help.
So
I think they should be transparent with their communication.
Yeah,
they should be transparent. They should let us know what is going on.
What is going on?
Why are they dropping
the
charges? They should let us know.
But with transparency, do you believe that this new government has done better with that?
I think they have. Unlike the Gufado administration, we only get to hear the thing when it's getting out of hand. Like the Cecilia Dapa issue. We only got to know about it.
See, the whole thing is that we haven't really seen. In fact, he is still forming his government, so we haven't really seen or heard any scandal yet that we will say, okay.
But we can't say he's perfect either.
No,
we can't say he's perfect either.
Yeah, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be. The only advantage we can be hopeful of from His Excellency JDM is that he has been in office before. So if there is anything to go by, at least he is going to learn from his past mistakes and re-amend them rightfully this time around. But then, I mean, we can't be all so hopeful, because there are some people he had in his past government that they are not part of his new administration. And so you can never tell what these people are also coming on board with, their motives or intentions. But he's been speaking of a code of conduct for his appointees. So I just hope that actually gets sped up.
But has those rules been laid out already, or we are yet to?
No, we are yet to receive it from them. Because it will really help if these things, and you know, it shouldn't just be a mouthpiece. Oh, there's a code of conduct, so we should see it happening. In fact, if someone breaches a conduct, there shouldn't be a second chance.
Not at all.
There shouldn't be. Once you breach it, you are off.
Yeah.
That is what the Ghanaian people are looking for now. Because where we are now, the second chances into these offices are nothing that we can actually survive with. You know what you need to do.
Yeah.
So if you don't do it, probably there is someone out there who can do it because you don't want to do it. We don't want any excuses or explanations.
Like the saying goes, leadership by example. I think JM should also live an exemplary life to the code sees about his layout, so that his followers can also follow. Because I believe that they are going to follow if they see him doing it. You don't expect me to follow a rule as a leader. You have laid out rules or code of conduct, and then you yourself, that's not what you are doing, and you expect me to do that.
Yeah.
So I think he should start with it first. Once he does, his followers will follow.
Well, once he does, his followers will follow. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, still happening on Ghana Talks Radio. As mentioned before, you can join us. We are looking forward to your submissions on our platforms, on Instagram at Ghana Talks Radio, on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on Twitter at Ghana Talks Radio, and on TikTok at Ghana Talks Radio. You can join through our website www.ghanatalksradio.com. Also via WhatsApp. Our numbers 0202-544-614, 0202-544-614. Join the discussions as we move on. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. So, yeah.
Is our speaker ready for us?
Very soon we will go on the line to speak to him. But before that, we just need to pay attention to whatever he's going to lay out to us. Yeah, I'm talking about the
communications
member of the Ghana National Fire Service, because it's really needed.
Yeah, very.
It is needed. The rate at which we are experiencing fire outbreaks this year is quite alarming. It is very alarming, and so we will be going on the line to speak to Mr. Alex Ken very soon, and ask him about all these happenings. So yes, we are trying to get the. I think we have him on the line now. Hello, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
I think we are having a bit of distraction.
Yes, we are having some challenges with our line. We will try and get him on the line again. He is the communications member for the Ghana National Fire Service, and so because when I saw the news, I got alarmed. I was like, wow, how many times now? We've seen the Kantamanto fire outbreak, the Techiman twice.
Yeah,
we've seen other places that haven't.
And I learned Techiman Market was on fire again.
Yes, just this weekend.
Wow.
So we need to we're still trying to get him on the line. Once we do,
okay.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, sir, good morning.
Please, this is Pakwesi Omare. I am speaking from Ghana Talks Radio on our Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. Okay. I'm doing good.
Kindly brief us on the incident yesterday at Tema, a warehouse that actually caught fire again.
Well, so good morning again.
Good morning.
Around 4 p.m. we received a call of a fire at a warehouse at an industrial area, Fine Prints Limited. So we quickly dispatched our crew. Upon arrival, they realized that the fire was well alight and spread. So they had to call for reinforcement from about 4 other fire stations to complement their efforts. And at the end of the day, we were able to put the fire under control by 5:57, where the fire was confined from further spread. It was 3 warehouses that was in a compound.
Wow, 3 warehouses.
Yeah.
I'm coming again.
Yes, please, you can continue.
Yes, so 3 warehouses within the same compound. So this particular warehouse contains stacks of papers. So our concentration was working hard to confine the fire and prevent it from spreading to the other warehouses that were unaffected. So fortunately, due to the hard work of our officers, we were able to contain the fire from spreading to the other warehouses. Unfortunately, the affected warehouse got burnt because of the kind of contents, of that particular warehouse.
Wow. But please,
So can you tell us what was the suspected cause of the fire outbreak?
Well, for now, before the fire, deep into the night, so we can't be able to give any substantive cause of fire for now. The investigations have now commenced. I don't want to get ahead of myself by speculating. So we are investigating, and we are hopeful that our investigators will do a good job.
Okay. That's understandable. But sir, if we can recount, there's been, unfortunately, constant and consistent fire outbreaks throughout the year so far. We've seen the Kantamanto fire outbreak, we've seen the Techiman market, we've seen other places that even hadn't made the news yet. Can you kindly tell us or inform the public about what you think, per experience, professionally, could be the cause of all these fire outbreaks?
Well, so fire outbreaks have always been with us. It will always be with us. Even early this morning, there were other fires that we attended. But our aim is to minimize the rate at which fires go up. As a service, we are doing our part, but the reasons, I would say, are quite a lot. People's negligence is one. Negligence, some common mistakes people do that start fires that they don't know can start fires. Also, the fact that people have nonchalant attitude to fire safety precautions. We churn out fire safety precautions every time, but people's reception or adherence to the precautions that we churn out is quite regrettable. So that is one of the reasons that causes these fires. Again, a lot of these fires also that we are experiencing are fires that involve slum areas within structures. The one that happened at Boba 2 days ago, for instance, was a slum area. The one at Kiseman, where the 4-month-old baby got burnt, was a slum area. The one at La Paz Blue Market was a slum area. So I would say urbanization and migration also account or contribute to the high rise in fires, because when people migrate to Accra, for instance, and they don't have anywhere to stay, they end up staying in these wooden structures. And when they stay in these wooden structures, they don't seem to take proper precautions against fires. So that's also one of the things that's accounting for the number of fires that we are recording.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you think should be done? First, by the masses, the people, the public.
Some measures that can be put in place to avoid such situations.
Well, I would say people should prioritize their fire safety. Fire safety, as I said, is a shared responsibility. As a service, we can do what we can do by putting measures in place, being responsive, and then enhancing our education. But if the people that we are supposed to target or reach are not giving us the kind of audience or adhering to what we churn out, it becomes a problem. So I would advise that people should learn to try and prioritize their fire safety. We find ourselves in the part of the world where we prioritize our security much more than our safety. So you'd find people being more attentive to thieves than they are of fires. And so that you can't take one and leave one. You have to find a way to draw a fine balance between your security and your safety. So that, because then when fires happen, because of security measures people have put in place, they end up being prisoners of their own. Whenever there's a fire, they end up being stuck in the rooms, and then can't go out, and they get burnt by the fire. That's because they themselves have made themselves prisoners in their own homes, because they are more scared of the thieves than they of the fire. So when they put the measures in place for the thief, they don't think much about the fire. So it's about drawing the fine balance between your safety and your security, so that they go hand in hand and you stay protected.
Okay.
So has there been any measures or any initiative the Ghana Fire Service has put in place or platform to educate the masses on how to go about with such cases?
We've worked out our measures. We've always put measures in place. I can tell you on authority, but for the measures that we've put in place before the beginning of this year, we would have recorded even much more fires than we are recording right now. But these measures that we put in place, we intensified our patrols. So at night, our fire teams go to various markets within their jurisdiction for patrols from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, to make sure that they look out for things that can start a fire in the market. And then also, even if the fire should start in the market, they are able to quickly tackle it before it becomes a full-blown fire. As a service, we've been committed to our safety education, and as I said, we can only put measures in place, but if the people are not cooperating, the people are not helping us by adhering, then it makes our work difficult. So as you're asking me about what we are doing, let's also implore the general public to also be more responsive towards fires.
Sure. With the enhancement of education, do you think that with the rollout on how the service, the Ghana National Fire Service, has put out there to educate the public, if it is still bearing, as you said, some stubbornness from the people, should it be intensified more by the National Fire Service?
We've intensified it much. Trust me, we have a safety department in every department. If you go on our Facebook page, you'd see the number of fire education we roll out. But then again, it's just like the proverbial saying, you can force a camel to the roadside, but you can't force it to drink. We've intensified. So it's a two-way street. It's shared responsibility. We have been committed, we've intensified, we've done everything possible that we have to do as a service to sensitize people. So then I believe more media attention should be channeled to people to also know that it's also their responsibility to adhere, because we can intensify all we want, but if the people are not willing to learn, are not willing to listen, or are not willing to adhere, then it makes the work much more difficult. So, as I said, it's a two-way street.
Okay. Sir, please, before you go, are there some things that you think the government needs to put in place in curbing this fire outbreak menace that we've been encountering lately?
Well, we've always bemoaned the fact that we lack. It's been a long time we were resourced. Looking at it, Ghana National Fire Service is one of the most under-resourced services in Ghana, and because the last time we ever received any donation or any fire tender was well over 12-14 years ago.
Wow.
So yes. So that's the kind of problem we are dealing with. That's why there are situations where people go to some fire stations. There might be a fire truck there, but it's not working because it's old and the parts are, because they're weak. The trucks are also custom made. It's not they are not parts that you can easily go to the market and buy. These are custom made parts that needs to be especially imported in.
Wow.
And so also we implore people within communities that they should adopt fire stations. We know it's the job of government to equip fire service, and as we wait for new fire tenders, we try to manage the ones in the system. It's important that communities learn to adopt, see the fire tenders or in their communities as their own, and then try to help out when their fire tenders go out of commission. Sometimes there might be some simple problems like batteries. There might be little problems like radiators. There might also be, oil leakage somewhere here and there that, the community can come together to adopt and help. Because at the end of the day, if the fire tender is working, it's working for the community.
Sure.
So we implore people to try and adopt fire tenders and then, help us serve them much better.
Wow.
Okay.
One last thing. With the under-resourcement to the service, has there been any communication made to the government as to, helping out with resources? And what has been the response from them as well?
A lot of appeal has been made. Government has given us assurances, and we are hoping that these assurances will be manifest quite soon. Then again, I'll bring the I won't say blame out the hat back on the general public that when there are security concerns and together they come together to call for support for security. We expect that the public should again come in and call for support for safety fire service, so that it doesn't look as if we are crying more than the bereaved. Because if the people who are more affected by the fire are not adding their voice to our calls for resourcing for the fire service, it looks as if we are fighting a lost cause. So it's important that there's people who are also affected who also help us, pass our message across for government to realize the urgency in our need for resourcing.
Okay. Wow. So you mentioned that the Ghana Fire Service is one of the under-resourced departments we have in the country. So
yes.
Have you had any challenges responding to this effort whenever there's a fire outbreak somewhere or in any residence? Do you have any challenges in terms of cars or the resources that you are supposed to take to the location to put the fire off?
Yes, we've had a lot, and we always bear the brunt when it's not really our fault. As we speak right now, I think that's the last time I checked. I don't know if it's now fixed, but the last time I checked, Konongo, for instance, their fire tender was out of commission for a while. Wow. And so if there was any fire at Konongo, their plans would have to move all the way from Ejiso in Kumasi to come to Konongo, over an hour drive.
Wow.
The lady and the children that lost their lives as a result of fires, yes, in Kumasi a few days ago, unfortunately. For instance, their area, the fire tender was out of commission. So when the fire happened, we had to rely on the fire tender all the way from Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to get there to respond to them. And so as I, it's unfortunate. As I speak to you right now, I'm a man. their fire tender is out of commission. So there can be a fire at Amasaman Hospital, which is a walking distance from the fire station, but the fire tender cannot go and work because it's out of commission. So we have to rely on the fire tender from Anya Market to move all the way to Amasaman to fight the fire. So obviously, if it happens that way, our response time will definitely be questionable.
Sure. And we really understand all these things that fire services going through. We will also try and amplify our voices in support of you to the government and to various stakeholders who have the capability and capacity to support and help the Ghana National Fire Service.
Sure. Thank you very much.
So we also thank you very much this morning, Mr. Alex Ken Nathi, the National Communications Team member of the Ghana National Fire Service, for making time with us on Ghana Talks Radio. We will always come to you whenever there is the need to. Thank you.
Sure, I'll always be available to you.
And we also want to use this opportunity to open our doors to you whenever you need something communicated to the public or the government as well. We will give you the platform to use our voices.
Thank you very, very much. We'll definitely be knocking on your doors.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
You're always welcome. So have a good day.
Have a good day too. God bless you.
Thank you for yesterday.
Thank
service
you
you provided to the Tema people.
Yes, sir.
Well.
Thank you too.
All right.
Wow.
It's very alarming.
Yeah, very alarming.
That was Mr. Nathiken Alex. He is the National Communications Team member of the Ghana National Fire Service. He is very articulate. I mean, he was very articulate with all the responses he gave to us, and it comes to bear that sometimes we blame these people, and yet their fault isn't really from them. In fact, you get to understand that they might even be
doing all they can to prevent such situations, but our attitude towards this is not helping at all.
Yes, our attitude as a people and as a government,
as a country, because he mentioned that the Ghana Fire Service is there, under-resourced.
Wow. Yes, it is under-resourced because, as he mentioned, Amasaman, their commission is out of service.
And the lady that lost her life in Kumasi, I think if they would have gotten there on time, she wouldn't have lost her life.
She wouldn't. Definitely she wouldn't.
These are some preventable things that can be prevented.
Oh, yes.
But
most of these things, if we had the resources to, man it up, most of it wouldn't be happening. So yes, we thank the National Fire Service for all their efforts they have put it in place, even though they are under-resourced. And we are pleading with the government of the country to heed to the cry of the Ghana National Fire Service, because the work they do, if they are under-resourced, it's going to be difficult for them to execute their services. So we plead with the government. We are pleading with the government. So that was Mr. Kenneth once again with us on Ghana Talks Radio, on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We will be going on the lines very soon also to talk to the PRO of the Sugarcane Farmers Association of Ghana. Now, their association released a statement yesterday in gratitude to the president for his assurance of reopening or recommissioning the Commander Sugar Factory. So they were happy, they are happy, and they are looking forward for it to get. We will speak to their PRO very soon and get to know more about that as well. But see, the Commander Sugar Factory, there's been so many talk about it. There's been so many talk about it.
There is. And then we are happy they are finally completing it and then inaugurating. At least that will create job opportunities for the youth in that residence. Yeah, and it will bring revenue to the government as well.
Sure. That is very great. So very soon our guest will also join us, Mr. Ofe Jima, to carry out the rest of the conversation. Something has been bothering me.
What is it? I hope it's not your ex.
Oh God. Let's move on. Now
tell me what's bothering you. Just let me know what is bothering you. Maybe I could help. In as much as they are saying the counselors need counselors. You're a counselor. Are you not a counselor?
I'm a counselor.
You're a counselor.
Yes,
the counselors also need counselors. So who knows? Maybe I could be the best fit for you to counsel you today. So tell me what's boggling your mind.
What is bothering my mind this morning is that I really, really want all our listeners and audience to join us on the conversation. Join us in the conversation on all our social media platforms. On Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio, on Twitter at GhanaTalks Radio, on Instagram at GhanaTalks Radio, and on TikTok at GhanaTalks Radio. Join also through our website www.ghanatalksradio.com, and then also you can join via WhatsApp. Our numbers are 0202 544 614 0202 544 614. We have our able guests in the studio, and he will be joining the conversation shortly as we get ready to roll with that. Is he?
Yes.
So on the table next,
what do we have? What kind of breakfast do you have to serve?
A kind that people have been starved of for far too long in the country. We are talking about the unemployment rate in Ghana. Oof. See, one of the things that unemployment brings about is our security threat. It is a huge national security threat.
As long as there's no job.
Exactly. People get into some vices that lead to some threat to other people's lives and all. And so if we don't get to address this issue as a nation, and it gets out of hand, I mean, it's going to worry us. But then, fortunately for us, we have in the studios our able guest who is going to help us with some of the things that, I mean, as a nation we need to look at regarding the unemployment rate in the country. Good morning, Mr. Jima. And welcome to our studios in GhanaTalks Radio.
Thank you very much.
And on our very beautiful and delightful show, the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're
and thank you for having me.
Sure. You're always welcome into our studios. So, this morning we are looking at some of the country's most worrying issues. And as an entrepreneur yourself, and as a youth commander yourself, the unemployment rate in Ghana, there's been a conversation about it, that is it because of the educational system? Because our education is tailored mostly around the office or the collar job market. Now, the job space for these color work markets is not even up to the number of people seeking job at a particular time. Is the education system failing us in regards to employment after school? Or is it bound to something different? Even as students, do we go to school and study the right courses to get a job opportunity on the job market? Or is the government who is failing us as to we being able to go to school for education and afterwards not providing us with jobs to complement the education we've sought for ourselves?
Okay. So first of all, I want to say good morning to your lovely listeners.
Sure.
My name is Yao Ofe Jima.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm a creative director.
Okay.
I've been in the space for a little bit over 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, addressing the issue of our unemployment, I believe in every situation, our society is the first place that has failed us. Because it's a society that creates the government. It's a society that forms the education that we are talking about, or any other industry per se. When we have to first understand what the unemployment rate is. When you hear rate, it takes you to mathematics. Yes. So we are talking about numbers.
Yeah.
So let's first know how many people in this country are qualified to be called laborers. That's where employment starts from. How many people are qualified to be called laborers, and how many people don't have the labor? This data honestly is really not available. All you see is the percentage of unemployment rate. Yes, because of political propaganda. You just see I think the last time it was between 3.8% to 4%. And we sit and we say it's alarming. America is 4% to 5%. But we are all running there for jobs. Why? So if it looks like the unemployment rate there is higher than ours here. So why are we like running out? We want to go there. Pastures. So if that place there's greener pastures, why is theirs high? I don't know if you understand me.
Yes, we really do.
So sometimes we just run straight to the bodies like the government, the education system, the blah blah. But we have to come and look at our society. Right now, when you give birth, most people are not willing to even look at the future of the child. They just throw you to a school. But education starts from home.
Yes.
I follow Captain Unique. Is it this bank that was closed recently? I want to.
The GN Bank. The GN Bank.
No, not the GN. The other one. The other Ghanaian bank. UT Bank. Yeah, Captain. It's unfortunate I'm not able to remember the full name. Captain Amwabeng. I follow him a lot. He's having this program. He's trying to train leaders of tomorrow.
I think I've seen that.
And I listen to his interviews a lot. What he mostly talks about is Ghanaian dishonesty and truthfulness. And it starts from the home. We have lost this. So any other industry will feel the hurt of that, because today we have a new acting CEO for the Youth Unemployment Commission also. If we are going to be very sincere, the Youth Unemployment Commission or whatever is like Jobaman. The government part of Jobaman.
You think it's not needed?
Is it? the society has failed us because when the economy was growing, I feel like, or I think we were so bent on the air course, modern civilization, that we did not develop alongside who we are. Because if we did, we would be looking at the technical part of our economy. I know a cousin of mine, he's a carpenter. He has bought a land with carpentry. He has built his house with carpentry. He married with carpentry. So if we say the youth is not employed, who are those who are not employed? It's even better today because back then, early 2000s, you hear Kwashi. You understand? Ask yourself, do you hear it like that now? We are blessed with the internet, so people are finding ways.
Digital marketers.
Thank you. You understand? So sometimes we jump to what let's say the trends. Everybody's blaming government, but who is government? We are government. The society creates the government. So if we don't actually look at the problem itself and we continue to play along the propaganda, it has dropped from 2.8 to 3.6, all those are propaganda. We don't ask how many people are actually not employed. I graduated from Ghana Telecom with my first degree last year, and it was over 1,000 students.
You asked us,
yes,
over 1,000 students.
You understand?
And so the question bears: do we have 1,000 job spaces
for these people?
Do we? Now, look at the space between 2009 to, let's say, 2020. The COVID was 2019, right?
Yeah.
So let's say 2020. What the creative industry has done for the economy when it comes to employment. It's very shocking that the government, the media, it's like they're not even talking about it.
Yes.
And they're not even seeing it.
Yes.
They pretend they are not seeing it.
It's because of the political propaganda that we are depending on the politicians in a way that it's not even nice. Right now, when we wake up and we don't eat in the morning, we say Nanado, Mahama. If somebody is not able to pay the child's school fees, there's Mahama or Nanado or Baomia. They're also working. What are you doing? See, there are some conversations that in our society has now made it like something that we shouldn't talk about or we can't talk about. And if you are trying to be honest, either the person feels insulted or the person feels like you don't have sense. Because let's say the passport is 1,000 cedis. We can go through that process. If you want it lesser than the process that you have to go through, pay 2,000. If all is going straight to the system, you will see the benefit. But somebody is building a mansion because he's paid 3,000 a month, and then cut corners with you wanting to go there. It takes you 3,000 before giving you the passport. And it's there. It's happening. And we are not talking about all these dishonesties. And we go back and we talk about unemployment rate. And
so you think these things are some of the, I don't know, the matters of unemployment?
Exactly. Wow. You see, when you tackle the thing, like the situation as it is, you would stay away from topics that will sway you. Unemployment is somebody not having a job. But let's be honest, there are TikTok employed people in Ghana. People don't go out, they create their content and they are being paid on TikTok.
You know, as a creative director yourself, who has been in the creative space for 10 years now, for the good inspiration to some of the people, our audience listening to us, who would want to make something out of their lives and all that. Well, I would want you to share with us a little bit about yourself and how your entire creative journey started.
Okay, so I discovered my talent late, somewhere in GSS.
Okay.
I was about to complete GSS.
Okay.
So when I went to a secondary school, I went to Pope John Senior High now.
Right.
Yeah, so that was somewhere 2006.
Okay.
So when I went there, that was when I decided to dive into my talent.
That's how it
And I was an artist. I was a rapper.
Okay. So, but wait. So, how did you discover this talent?
So back in the days, this will take us to our education system. We had music and dance.
Yes.
In there.
Yes.
We had
back in SHS.
Yes.
Even at GHS.
In GHS.
There was GHS.
I remember we used to do it every Friday. That's
Yes.
the last thing we do.
Before you go.
We had this colleague Monday to Thursday.
You come to school Friday. You understand? So there was pre-technical, and all these courses, it gives you a hand-on employment.
Yeah. The skills.
The skill.
Yeah.
Even if the brain is not there, there's something you can do with your hands.
Yes, pre-tech, pre-voc.
Pre-vocational skills.
Pre-voc. Yes, that was why I learned how to do okra stew.
Yeah, me too. I
understand.
Jollof.
Imagine. You understand?
That will be a topic for another day.
So that was where I started. We had this drama and something club. Yeah. So I joined somewhere in JSS3, and then they gave me the chance to perform. So I performed Ochame Kwame's. At that time, it was Execution Diary. He had a song, Bapene. Yeah, it was one of the hits from Execution Diary. Yeah, at that time. So that was the song I performed.
Okay.
But at home, I'm a music guy. Like my dad, my mom. My mom is a big Daddy Lumba fan.
Wow.
Yeah. And my dad is a Tupac and Bob Marley fan. So
so you can imagine.
You can imagine. You understand? So that was where everything started. Yeah. That was where it started. So I was listening to the song. I'll be copywriting it on the cassette. You record over when they are playing it on the radio. So that was where it started.
Okay.
And then I got more interested into music. Like I was diving more into it. So in essence, I got the opportunity because boarding house, freedom, and we were all over going to entertainment studios around Kufuridia. We were coming to Accra, Tema. So that was where the passion actually started. Secondary school.
Okay.
So back in secondary school, somewhere around Form 2, third term, we put together our school fees to do an album and sell. Wow. Yes.
Wow.
And we made our money back.
Wow.
Yes. Shout outs to Konka.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. This is great.
We are about 8 boys.
That's so inspiring.
Yeah, very inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, very inspiring.
We made our money back. So I think that was where I started leaning on to the music business. So before I finished school, my mom was like, don't bring your music things at home.
Wow. Looking
at my background, my family background, I didn't think I could actually force myself to do the music. It wouldn't be acceptable. So I just went behind the scenes and I was supporting my fellow friends who were doing the music at that time.
Okay. But before we go into that, you are still tuned into Ghana Talks Radio. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, and we are in the studios with a very good creative director, Mr. Jima Ofe. Sorry. You said looking at your family background.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your family background, which
so
gives a resistance to?
I was born into a Seventh-day Adventist family.
Oh.
So you are grounded into the church.
Yeah.
And then you understand.
It's either hymns or nothing.
I now understand why your mom was telling you not to bring your music.
Don't bring it at
to the house.
I say fatina school more. So you're always at church. I was part of some quartets at church, so I was singing. My voice wasn't that good, but I was trying because I was interested. I was playing the keyboard as well. So it was like everything was church. The Bible, church, the Bible. So like it's hard for them to actually say that you are going to rap.
But don't you think that is like your mom being unfair for him not to allow you to be able to, do something you are passionate about?
There's this thing I always say. So it's unfortunate most times it's not like that, but the parents know best.
Sure.
You can't fight it.
Sure.
Recently, a nephew of mine was doing along with the mother, and I was like, "Yo, you can't win with your mother.
Yeah.
Forget it. Don't fight. Just relax." You understand? They know best.
Yeah.
Sometimes, no matter where they sway you to, if it's your calling, you will still come back to it. And I'm still doing music, though I'm not on the screens.
It was for you.
You understand?
It was for you.
Exactly. You get it. But they know best. So sometimes we should just cool down and then just watch them.
Yeah.
Go school. Just go to the school.
Yeah.
Because once you take your first degree and you get your first job, your mother can tell you to sleep again.
Exactly.
Your dad can't tell you where to go.
Exactly.
Because you earn for yourself. The point is you don't earn for yourself. They have their reason why they agreed that you come to the world. So sometimes you don't fight it. And it's something that happens mostly in our homes, especially with artists. Working with artists over the years, I've seen that we always come from a rebel like beginning. I'll do music, you not do. Go to school, I won't go.
So you have to rebel your way out of it.
You understand?
You have to be rebellious about it.
So sometimes when they are like that, like quote unquote too known, you don't like. I know people always judge them because of probably the way they are, the way they carry themselves, but in their heads they've been through a lot because they had to rebel their way through to where they are now.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm now partially getting the justification from some of these artists and their pompous. Yeah, okay, that's nice. So 10 years in the game.
Yeah.
We are talking about unemployment.
Yes.
10 years.
Yes.
What have been your impacts in the creative space in regards to employment?
Okay. So we started off as a studio.
Okay.
And then as time went on, we merged and became a record label.
Wow.
So
we.
You
and we.
Yeah. So it was Jimoff Studio. That was me and then Kunka, a very good friend of mine, Robert Ochre, Mr. Robert Ochre. Right now he's a Mr. So Mr. Robert Ochre.
He's a what?
He's a Mr.
Oh.
Yeah, he has joined the marriage fraternity as well.
When are you following it?
We are praying.
Valentine is coming.
So we started off with Jimoff Studio. We were in the university at that time. That was back in 2012, 13. And it was good. It was lucrative because I wasn't calling home that send me money, do me this, do me that. I was in Ghana Telecom. And at that time, the Nigerians loved private universities in Ghana. So there were a lot of them there. So I was recording them. You understand? Honestly, I won't lie. Because we were able to rent a store, buy our foaming, get our speakers, our equipment.
All out of?
Yes, all out. We started in our room. Like, his dad rented a one-bedroom apartment. So we started it there. And then we were able to gather money and then take a store. You understand? So in school, I was employed. But the system wouldn't capture that because they are not ready to support you. As soon as you capture somebody, you take responsibility of the person. Every time I say that in our society or in our today government, they don't know you until you're 18 years. And now they pull you to come and vote. That register. And now they have Ghana card. Get your passport. But they didn't care whether you lived or you survived or you died from age 0 to 18. They don't care. That's why people sit on stones at this time to learn in school. Because if they cared, they will know that their future are those people who are sitting on the stones. And what are they experiencing? They go through that pain and they come out. They want to make money and be comfortable. Do you think this person will be honest in your government?
Wow. That is deep.
That
is very deep and insightful. You are still with us in the studios of GhanaTalks Radio. We are still with our able guest, Mr. Jima Ofe. Esi, I'm enjoying the conversation. In fact, I'm learning a lot from Mr. Jima here. And I know he has a lot to unfold. So yes.
So we over the years we did it from somewhere 2012 to somewhere 2013, and then a good friend of ours, he discovered our song from one of the artists who uploaded, and then he traced us and came to the studio. Nanaya Boedu Ayabuafu.
Yeah.
Yes. So he had started his own management with a friend. And they came over and asked us to collaborate. So during that time, they were bringing artists for us to record, and they will work on their side. But what we were also doing is, if you record with us, my brother was teaching in a nursing school, and he was into the education system. So when there is an SRC program or student, any student program, he will maneuver and then get any of our artists to be booked.
Wow.
So that was why the Nigerians were enjoying our place, because when you record with us, you perform in Ghana. So they were coming, and we joined forces, and then we moved the studio to a bigger space in SCC, and that was somewhere 2013, and we merged. So Jimoff and then Hit Factory became Jimoff Hit Factory Ghana in 2013, and then we decided to sign an artist to start a label. So we did about 3 artists. It wasn't that good, because the systems, there's no infrastructure to this thing. So you have a business idea, and then you can't even there's no mentorship, there's nothing. You have to struggle your way through everything, and then you get to the point and they're asking you to pay tax. But people will always like to skip them because it's not fair. You get it? So we worked our way through, and then somewhere 2014 we signed a female. That was our first female. And I think it was a turnover point for us, because we decided to put in 100%. Everybody. Papa Kosi is one of the people that I would say are the founding fathers of GAG, because he supported us right from that time. At that time he was managing Koin Takra. So we had the opportunity to record a couple of his songs at that time, and we still work together even now. So we called everybody we know, Fifi, Dinkra, Kelvin Wolf, everybody, that we have an artist now, and we are all in this space, so we need their support. So about 4 years down the line, somewhere I think 2016 or so, 3 or 4 years, we had our first breakthrough with a cover of Shatawale's Ayo. So somewhere 2016, 2017, 2016, if you remember, there was this lady trending with Shatawale Ayo, with dreadlocks, sitting in front of a studio setup. Her name was Reina.
Yeah, I do.
So we started, like we say, she was our fresh start, apart from whoever that we worked with. So we put in 100%, and we were able to hit that breakthrough at that time. So it opened us to the industry in a way that we started learning the business side, the actual business side of the industry. You understand, the bookings, the how do you call it, the endorsements, the performances, your rights, your royalties. That was when I was a team head at that time, so that was when I actually dived very well into the music business. And at that time too, we got the opportunity to work with T-Flow under Spider Lee. So I was able to, I got a chance to sit in meetings, and I saw how it was being run. That there is an infrastructure, but if I don't know if they put it up, people will get opportunity, so they don't want to put it up so that they will be the only ones enjoying. I don't understand.
Wow. And which people are we talking about? Is it the Ghana?
You know, whether you go, whatever you do, what they say, gatekeepers or whatever, they are, and it's very necessary. Because if you don't have gatekeepers, anything can come in and go.
Sure.
But it's how the gatekeepers treat the gate, and how people come and go. You understand?
I do.
It hits back to honesty. You can see a very talented artist, but because somebody is not putting 100,000 Ghana cedis to push him, everybody will be like, "Oh, do well, you don't home." But a post can change his life. Even now, it's even like good now, because Akokwa, a post from Sarkodie has changed his life. It has. So imagine we have like these platforms, like ground up about 2, 3, 4 of these platforms. It is automatically creating employment, because Kwesi Arthur at a point was unemployed. Now Kwesi Arthur is making a living. You understand? And it's not engineering, it's not doctorate, it's not medicine, it's not whatever it is. It's music. So that means that there is a section of that of life that can also form employment for our youth. That doesn't need too much. Right now, online is paying people, and all they need is good tariff for bundle. Because if you make $100 a month, let's say a month, you can't compare it to how much you are buying data for. It's almost like you are making money to go and buy data, and it's not fair.
Sure.
You understand? It's not fair. If I'm a computer engineer, so I know about these things. And internet is like giving access to a room. Now, when you go outside to the Western world, when they give you access to the internet, they don't limit you to the number of
days or
good. You are not limited to that. They give you access.
So
just access. You understand? And they don't lose. They even make more money there. But here they tell you that when you come inside, just touch this thing, or just hold the laptop. You can't go and touch the mixer. That's what they are doing to us. Because you get access to the internet and they just give you 10 megabytes
for 3 days.
For 3 days, and it's even expensive for 5 CDs.
Very expensive.
And how much is our how do you call it, our day income?
I mean, it's very expensive.
Very.
I think, was it yesterday or last day, is the newly appointed minister for Honorable Sam George saying that he's going to hold a stakeholders meeting to see how they are going to reduce the data prices for the public. If something can be done about it, I think it's already.
Yes, they have to. It's a check. And he doesn't need to create a committee for this.
That has been something, a discussion. People are saying that why is everything being
all about
committee?
You get
committee.
See, and I saw him reply to someone's post on X that yes, he understands our worries as to why they shouldn't need a committee, but then there is an entire chain of production when it comes to these things, and so you need to engage all of them, consult them, come into agreements with them on how everyone will be willing to, reduce whatever thing they are bringing on board.
Who are they? Who are the stakeholders? You don't need to form a committee. You are the boss. You want to see the head of MTN. The head of MTN must make time for you. You are the minister. He must, constitutionally, lawfully. Sit down with him, ask him, how much do you make? You understand? You can ask any question you want to ask. You don't need to put too many people together. No. Let's be honest. It's like it's real. Like that's it. Because you know that when he puts together that committee, they are going to create schedule to meet. And when they meet, they are going to be what? compensated.
Yeah.
Whose money are they going to use for the compensation?
Yes.
I mean, we are going to ask the Honorable that question. Honorable, whose money are you going to compensate the committee?
You understand?
Yeah. So we are still tuned in on Ghana Talks Radio. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, and we are in the studios with Mr. Jima Ofe and my beautiful co-host Esinam, discussing a few things regarding unemployment and corruption that we'll get into very soon. You can join us on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok at Ghana Talks Radio. Or join the conversation through our website www.ghanatalksradio.com. Via WhatsApp as well, you can send your views and your comments, your suggestions, everything that you think you can also contribute to the conversation. And our WhatsApp line is 0202-544-614, 0202-544-614. Mr. Jima.
Yes, sir.
You've made some very good points.
Yeah. And I have this question. So your experience and then your story. What do you think is the role of an individual in playing in unemployment, or how they can create their own jobs?
Okay, so the first thing is your talent. It's something that we are missing now.
Yeah.
You understand?
I think all the focus have been shifted to education.
Education.
You see, it has always been about education and school. It's just that we are defining it wrongly. You get it? When we find your talent,
I am learning.
We have to educate you on your talent. So, for instance, Jesus as a kid was following his father to the carpentry shop.
Yeah.
So, if that was his talent, he wouldn't have become a preacher. And then when they found out that he was more into teaching people, they took him to the synagogue.
Yeah.
And he sat with those who do it, and he learned more. He was educated. And that is schooling. It's not just about the building, Great Lamte. I'm sorry for mentioning the name. You understand? And then you just take your kid there, and then you don't. Some people don't even know what their kids learn in like daily, like a day. Or they don't call school now, go to your school fees, you know. They are not fine. They don't even. It's not that they don't care, but they are busy to get more, to go and pay for the kid to stay there. Why you? It's like you're sucking your kid from you. So you have to know the child. That's where individually it starts from. You know who you are, what you can do best, and then you educate yourself on that. You school yourself on that. But it's unfortunate that you can't blame our education system too much, because we have sponsorship coming from USAID, UNICEF, and they'll give you their narrative. They will tell you what to learn. They will give you their, because why am I still learning about what's his name, Martin Gorgesberg or whatever? You understand? I have to. I grew up before I felt my Asante pride. I had to grow up before. It's sad, and there are so many kids. You don't know about. It was just recently I knew that the Asante Nation also fought for independence. That was Prempeh II, and it was declared, like documented and nationally, like everybody is aware of that. But you don't learn this in school. It's a shame.
So you think even with our education system, there should be a reform as to all these things?
Yes.
Regarding employment?
Yes. Okay. That's where it starts from.
Okay.
Honestly, that's where it starts from. So even now, the government has more responsibility, because everybody is entrusting them with the awards. And you are telling them that you educate them for free, and when they come there, what's the quality? What do you get?
That brings us back to the free SHS policy.
Well,
so students have vacated, and then they will be resuming school in May.
From January to May.
From January to May.
And what's the provision in between May. That time?
Wow.
In May.
What's the provision in between that time? you don't go back. In this case, you can't even go back to the government and ask. It's the parents.
Yeah.
Are the kids at home? Like, what are they doing at home? Or you push them to vacation classes.
They'll be in the house for extra 3 months before they go back, simply because there are no facilities or infrastructure to, you know.
I have my reservations when it comes to these free SHS. Yeah. So, you know, when in our society, when you talk too much about, you know, political parties, they feel like you are, you know, leaning to a side. But it's the truth. Before you when you say something is free, you should be ready for the numbers. And that was what they were not ready for. They saw that, oh, there's a revenue here that we can use to cover everybody's tuition. But after that, what's next? Because it will come to the development. You know, of late you don't even hear inter-schools, inter-core and all those stuff. It's, you get it. There's not enough funds to support
these things.
You see, so it's all part. The child being home for 3 months. It's no more the government's problem. It's a parent's
problem.
It's not a problem.
That's a very strategic way of eluding. I don't want to say charges or fees, expenses.
Yes,
as a government, because
you get it.
You absorb them for 3 months, 3 weeks, and then offload them for 3 months with their parents. It makes sense.
You get it, yeah, and it's so you don't go back to the government and say, "I know I'm banana between 3 months." That be.
Wow.
Don't complain. But what at that time? So as you said, individually, that's when as a parent, you have to study your kid. Look at the child.
Okay.
Where are the places that you can? My dad told me something sometime. I was at my very lowest point, and I moved to my auntie's place at Kumasi. So I was on the phone. I was home at that time, so I used to talk to him a lot. He just said it and he stopped. Yeah. He said, birds. Like I saw a bird in the house, in the garden, dead. And I was telling him. So we were on the phone, so I was telling him, I am so free. And then he said, birds, when they lay their eggs, they are fierce. They protect the egg for the egg to hatch. When the egg hatches, they will protect the child. Go out, go and look for a worm. You know, feed. Now they try to let you fly. When they teach you, those who are able to fly, as soon as you fly, your mom never brings you worm again.
Wow.
Now you have to go for it.
That was all he said.
Wow. And it struck you.
Yes.
Struck something in you.
Yes.
Something like what? I would love to learn with my audience.
That we like to blame. We are always at the third space, but we are first. It's us. So what decisions did we take? When my mom said I should do like this, I wanted to try and do like this and see, and I failed and I died. Those who said, okay, let's continue and spread our wings, they flew away. I don't know if you get me. So when your parents, those who are fortunate to have parents who invest in them, go through it because they want you to earn for yourself. This is how I saw it. They bring you into the world. You are their problem. And then they try as much as possible to give you skills so that you become somebody else's problem. So if you are over 18 and you still feel like every time you have to be calling your mom and dad, look at yourself. Because some of us are over 30 and we lock up and we still call our dad.
Wow.
It's not fair.
That's not fair.
Yes.
It's not fair this morning that you are not joining the conversation on GhanaTalks Radio, on our GhanaTalks breakfast show. So be fair, join the conversation on all our social media platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube as well. You can join us with all your views and comments, and also via WhatsApp. There's our WhatsApp number 02025446140, 02025446140. Mr. Ochre.
Mr. Offie.
Mr. Offie. Sorry.
No worries.
Since we are discuss on unemployment and employment, and you being in the creative space, would you say that there is employment opportunities in the creative industry?
There is a big opportunity.
A big opportunity.
It's so vast that it amazes me. It's like it's either they don't care
or they don't know,
or they are not seeing it.
Yeah.
Me, I wouldn't say they don't know, because people like Baba Sadiq have registered companies. They pay money to Gamro. They pay money to GRA. When they are setting up shows, the concerts that you see them build up, it's a whole team. Road managers, stage managers, sound managers, sound engineers. There can be a show can contain more than 10 sound engineers.
Yeah.
I remember I've forgotten the lady's name. She's part of the tourism something. She was talking about this NLA ad that they came to do in Ghana. And she gave figures. It's unfortunate I don't remember, but she gave figures.
Wow.
And there were millions of dollars that was put into it, and people were paid.
Wow.
People were paid. The All African Games.
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel sports is not a creative space, but it is.
Okay.
It's creativity. A footballer is a creative person.
Can you share with us some of the opportunities in the creative space?
So just as I said, with me as an example, I'm a creative director.
Okay.
And that's what I've been earning from for the 10 years I'm talking about.
Sure.
I didn't go to a school. I wasn't even mentored for it. It was just 6 years into my career that I realized, oh, so I'm a creative director. You understand? And there are kids or younger ones out there who are taking our path.
Knowingly or unknowingly?
Knowingly or unknowingly. And majority is unknowingly. They don't even know that that's what they are doing.
Wow.
An artist, just Sarkodie as a company, will employ a road manager. That's one unemployed person gone. Will employ a photographer. Has to employ a videographer. He has to employ a manager. He has to employ a financial manager. He has to have a legal team. Just Sarkodie, as a company.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Shatawali. Go to Stoneboy, Samini. You get it?
Yeah.
So if we create budget for this space, for just this space, see the number of dancers now. When I was in SS, dance was a big thing in school.
Yeah.
Not the biggest.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but she's here.
What do you want to say?
See, my school father was the Enter-P
Yeah.
during our time, skates. And he was actually the best dancer back then. One of the best dancers Ghana has ever seen. Got to a time I partied with him and he didn't face me. I'm just trying to tell you indirectly that I was a very good dancer back then. He wouldn't know, so.
You understand? And if probably there were structures that you could follow,
Yeah.
it would have been professional.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would have.
I was very good.
Would have.
Right now, young Amy magazine cover.
You understand?
And I encourage you all.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
There's a long way looking at the macho and all those things. So you see, the creative space is employing. It is not even that it can, but it is. Recently, look at Kwaku Smoke's concert. That's some revenue.
Yeah.
That's some revenue. And then whether they like it or not, the year of return, it's music that held it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether they like it or not,
It was.
we don't even need them to confirm it.
It was. It was music.
Yes.
It was music.
Kim Promise is here, Mr. Easy is there,
Yeah.
Sarkodie is here, Stoneboy is
was
there,
there.
Kiddies.
Yeah.
Manifest,
Come on.
Yeah. Everybody
They got
was
people
just
flying, people were
cashing
booking
out.
tickets.
to come for.
You understand? Visa on arrival in Ghana is a little bit over $200,000. $200 or almost $300. And if 10 people are booking to come to Ghana to come and watch King Promise, why are you scared to invest in King Promise?
Okay.
I don't know whether you get me. Yeah. If they want to be honest to themselves, like by this time, Baba Sadiq should probably be maybe the Minister of Tourism, because what's the name? 3 Music Awards.
Yeah.
See the last one.
Yeah.
See the stage setup. You know the number of people who were involved. If you go behind the scenes and you see the people who were involved, you know, creative people, even fabricators, aluminium fabricators, you will get IT personnel. So what you want to tell me that you people don't see all these things? It's weird. It's very weird. You understand? It's very weird to say that our politicians are not seeing these things. And to me, it's unfortunate they are the ones leading it.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate because we are not seeing. We are not seeing what they are supposed to do. If they are doing it or they are not, or they are playing with us, it's funny.
So do you think, by your own observation, being in the creative space, do you think that the governments of Ghana for past years have neglected the creative space?
Yes. I don't even think so. It is so.
It is so.
Even to the film industry. As
Yes, the creative space.
Yeah.
It's so.
And looking at the employment opportunities in the creative space,
Yes.
if there's been some much more detailed attention to it, we might have been able to curb some of this unemployment.
Yes, we are looking for products to export. Every country who is doing well is exporting more.
Yes.
And receiving the revenue directly, not like it's going through somebody.
Yeah.
So if we really want to increase our export, you know, the creative space is one of the biggest places to increase your export, because Mohamed Okono is an export. It's a product that we have been exporting for a long time. But we are not even looking there to see like how much we can even make from Mohamed Okono, how much we can, you know, what we can improve. But Oprah is like the richest woman or something like that. Yeah. Oprah. What's the difference between Oprah and Mohamed Okono? To me, no.
Wow.
Because Oprah didn't have that influence in my life, but Mohamed Okono did.
She did. So if we had actually invested or even saw the vision,
they see it. But honestly, you can't tell me, because me, I believe that it's our fathers who are there, our uncles. You get it. You can't tell us that you don't see what's going on. If you like mess up a little on Twitter or X, Ghana police will call you.
They'll call you.
Yes.
They'll come for you. Sure.
They will. So they can't tell us they are not seeing anything. It's not possible. Okay. They just turn a blind eye to it.
What do you think should be done?
First of all, I think the creative people must take what they are doing very seriously.
Okay.
That's why I say we like to put ourselves third and then blame people first. But first is us. We are not taking our opportunity serious. So people can't even declare how much they make. Aside from Shatawale, who is very, you know, open with these things, like I was booked for this, I make this on this, you know, you hear him mentioning figures. You don't hear any other artists. You get it. But in the other worlds where they are doing well with their creative stuff, they make avail how much they make. So even before you book them, you know how much you are
going to pay.
Exactly. And then it will give the government enough data to be able to tax and know that the creative space is contributing X amount to the economy. So when we are budgeting, we should try and budget Y amount to it so that we can make Z.
Okay.
I'm not good with names, so sometimes I forget. There's this, I think this same lady I spoke about with the NLA. She said something. She said when they were doing the NIA was collating the population census, when they come and they ask you, what job do you do? How many photographers wrote or put, I am a photographer there?
Sure. They don't see it as a job.
You understand? That's why I'm saying we should take ourselves serious first.
Seriously.
How many people wrote musician? Will probably write his first degree there. Until you're having a conversation with me, I always say I'm a creative director. I don't say I'm an engineer.
Wow.
You put respect to what you are doing. You don't wait for it to bloom before
you
you
have to boast about it.
Yes. So the government is not collating enough data for the creative space for them to feel like they can even benefit from us. Somewhere in somewhere 2014-15, Nigeria was boasting of their entertainment industry improving the economy by, I think it was 5% or 6%.
Oh wow.
And that was the converging point. All the big businessmen, they were putting into the movies, the music. So watch, from 2013-14, the Nigerian entertainment space changed.
Okay.
You get people creating a whole estate for the movie industry. One movie producer will be given a whole estate for movies.
Wow. So if we are being able to, or if we are to be able to, pay attention to the creative space, is going to create a whole lot of employment
Yes.
for our people.
It's already doing it.
Okay.
But we are not collecting that data.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we collect that data, people will actually now see the relevance to it. There are young guys like ourselves who are making money from farming.
Yeah.
They're making money from farming. And when they tell you the stress that they have to go through to keep the business going, it's all because they are not looking at it. Like, they are not looking at that side like, oh, when we say unemployment, they are always looking at, people are not getting jobs in companies.
White
collar jobs.
So,
we should be able to diversify ourselves from the white collar job and look at the creativity and talents that we
Yes.
possess.
should be able to blend.
We have to. The education service should start adding up, bringing back, those
All
music
these
and
things
dance,
that,
pre-tech,
Pre-technical
pre-voc,
and
and the government should also, this free SHS, honestly, the funds, if they used it to, to how should I put the word, to solidify our technical schools.
it would have been very beneficial to us.
Because there are masons who go through the technical school. They are masons, and that is what they are.
They are.
You understand? They went to school and they have a certificate for it.
Sure.
But those that we employ to build our houses, they don't have certificates. So how are we enacting them? How are we pulling them into the system? Because all those are taxes leaking. All those are taxes leaking.
Wow. It's been a very interesting conversation this morning with Mr. Ofe. And my beautiful Islam in the studios of Ghana Talks Radio on our Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Mr. Ofe,
Yes, sir.
before we wrap up, the corruption menace that we've been encountering as a country, what do you think breeds the corruption menace in Ghana? What do you think breeds it?
Is it the
How are you
legal?
laughing?
Or is
Tell
we
us why you are
asking?
laughing.
That's a big issue.
It's a very
A
big issue.
huge one.
And Mahama has come out to say that Ghana is no longer a safe place.
See, one problem I have with all these, Mahama said that we've heard things.
Yes.
Yeah, we
I'm not
have.
going to lie.
We are actually tired of hearing them.
You see, so we are
We want
looking
to see
for
it.
actions.
Yes.
There
What
should be
actions
proactive.
are we looking
Exactly.
for? What actions?
See, to me, the first action is punishment. People who have been found culprits or guilty of corruption should be punished.
Yeah, of
But
course.
such is going to scare off other people who have intentions of doing it. Until then, if we keep probing things under the carpet,
Yeah.
we are always going to find scandals of corruption.
You know, it's the what you said.
Yeah.
That is what we are supposed to do,
Yeah.
and that's what we have been doing. You know why I say we have been doing it? Let's go back to from 1957 when Nkrumah fought for independence. Now they said Nkrumah is corrupt, so we are taking Nkrumah off, and his officials were punished. Some died. The next government that came, why were they taking off? Corruption. So the punishment they gave to those people didn't it revere the others? After them, the next person that came because the system was what? Corrupt. And if you look at it, since that time, our politics is about the people in power are corrupt. Well, as I've said it now, when you get the chance, just sit, look, listen to our coup d'etat and the reasons and all that. It's all about corruption. The reason why we go back to vote to take the person is about corruption, just as we are saying now.
But you see, in this case, that was before we actually had the constitution. Under the constitution, we have laws, guiding us moving forward. Have these laws really been empowered as effective as they should be, and especially on our leaders?
Do we know the constitution?
That's another very big question.
You see, one of my biggest inspirations is my own sister. She moved from Canada to Bolga. From Canada to Bolga. It's not like she doesn't have opportunities there, but she has seen the benefit of staying in Ghana. She has seen the opportunities way in Bolga. I just came from Bolga recently, and I'm telling you, living in Bolga is like living in East Legon.
Wow.
It's very expensive, and the boys are making a living. So we are in one place thinking that another place is like it's like forest.
Yeah. Yes.
That's one reason why I was so much interested in Nana Kwame Diakon's campaign, because he was actually tackling the opportunities in the whole country. Like we have cities. We behave as if they are towns. Kumasi is a city. Go to Techiman. Techiman is a very big city, and there is an economy there.
Yeah.
So how come our leaders are not seeing it?
They are, but if it's made clear to you, you would ask real questions, and then they will have to be accountable. So what I was about to say, just to not waste time, I was coming to accountability. We don't know the constitution. We wake up in the morning and we go to school. They are teaching us about the Bible, but they are not teaching us about the rules governing us. So even if you are falling against the law, you don't even know. You don't know. That's the honest truth. Let's be honest. You don't know. There are so many things in our constitution that we have to reform.
Yes, I think there's been
Yes.
a committee.
Another committee.
Oh, but no, for constitutional.
Yeah, there has to be so many people involved. Because it's the whole country.
Needs to consult other.
Yes.
Yes.
So when it comes to, there are things that they shouldn't behave as if Ghanaians are dumb. So when you raise a committee and we are complaining, no, it's not like that.
Yeah.
When you listen to the reasons behind it, there are real reasons, but they just cover it with propaganda and they just keep quiet. If we employ the politicians, we employ the last time somebody was saying Côte d'Ivoire coup d'etat here, coup d'etat, and I'm saying that Ghana, we can't have a coup d'etat because the people who experience coup d'etat, some of them are still alive and they know how it is. It's not easy. There are some mad people in Ghana that you don't want coup d'etat to happen. You will not like the way people will behave. The best coup d'etat we can do is a voter's ID card. Yes. That is the biggest gun. Everybody has that gun.
Yeah.
We have that gun. And that gun, when we pull it, no politician, because you put them there.
Yeah.
You put them there. Now, the accountability part is the problem. Because we ourselves are dishonest. The politician making the money, when the project comes, he calls a Ghanaian. whether it is cousin, it is whatever, the person is a Ghanaian. The person, this headphones, oh, we need headphones for Ghana radio. Oh, the headphones, oh, this one, we go to the market, we go figure them 10 Ghana, but if we put for the invoice inside, say, like, 10,000. Is that Nanado?
So it's more of greed.
Yeah.
Yes, and accountability. When we are not asking the real questions, how many people are unemployed? How many people are employed? How many people are in cocoa board? How many people are in Ghana petroleum? You understand? How much is each person paid? This should be public information. Everybody should have it and know it.
Okay. But I think that when it comes to public information accessing, there's been the RTI, so everyone has the right to
go and no, not to go and access it. They have to report to us. We employ them. That like it's like you're the person that you've like you telling your boss to sleep, wake up. You see, it's weird. Yeah, that's what we are doing to ourselves.
Okay.
We employ them, so we have to ask them. You're not being accountable. We don't even need to wait for 4 years. Because we have the power. We employ them.
So whenever we see deem fit, we just take them off.
Yes, we can. You see, we are not. If you look at the constitution, there are things in it that we don't. If they teach us, they allow everybody to know.
Yeah.
Here we turn abroche and they don't want that. A kid will tell you that.
This is my right.
Yes, it's all there. If you don't take time right now, if you're a farmer, you keep taking your kid to the farm. Yeah. An organization can take you to court that you are practicing child labor. Your own child. It's in the constitution.
Yeah.
Do you know that Ghanaian farmers don't own their seeds? We don't own our seeds. Go look in the constitution. It's there.
Wow.
And that space is giving chance for GMO to take over. And then we will hear it on the media, propaganda, GMO, and that's what you hear, and then it will die off. And then the real problem is there. We don't own our seeds. Who owns it?
Wow. It has been such a great conversation, but our time is up and we need to wrap up. So, corruption, unemployment. Wrapping up, would you say that it is a government orchestrated problem, or it is we as a people our own,
or as an individual?
I think I support you.
As an individual?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a societal problem. Okay. It starts from the homes.
Okay.
The homes are not giving their people the opportunity to discover themselves. And in turn are becoming problems to the people, which is the government.
Okay.
So, and it moves together, employment and corruption. When somebody suffers too long and is employed, that person is a menace, very dangerous. Especially if the person has big dreams, then you are in trouble.
He wants to achieve all those things.
You understand?
Wow.
You understand? So, I believe when I saw the topic, I smiled. I was like, "This is like something I've been advocating for."
Sure.
Unemployment. Every show that I've been on, I always say that the government, because they are the people we have employed to do that. The government should look at the creative sector because it is creating employment. So one of the best space to solve unemployment is the creative department. They should look there and then look at it very well. Take the data.
Wow.
They shouldn't just let the data be leaking away. Yes, they should take the data and then they should work on the data. And every home should be responsible for their individual. Every home should be responsible for their yes, because at the end of the day, every problem you face, you take it back home. Because smoke say, "Udi usika wa bontia, unya sema unfa kufi." You understand? Yeah. If all the problems is hey, what is your father, your mother, your uncle, your auntie? What are they doing?
Sure.
It's them who are MPs. So when they start solving the problems at home, we don't need to go outside and go and worry anybody called the government.
Wow. That is great for Mr. Ofejima. Yeah, so who fear problems, you know. Thank you, Mr. Jima. It's been such a great delight having you on the show this morning with your insightful education and guidance on ways to curb this unemployment and corruption menace.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure. And we will always get in touch whenever there needs be. And you are always welcome here as well. Whenever you need to, doors are open for you. This is Ghana Talks Radio, and you are with us on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We are wrapping up. Issy, anything you have for someone this Valentine, you can say it right now.
Oh, I don't have anybody. Okay. I don't have anything to say to anyone. Let's love it.
But it's been such a great show.
Yeah, it has.
I'm very glad that we had all the conversations that we got to have this morning. You are really looking beautiful as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we will come your way again same time tomorrow morning. Make a date with us. Tune in. It is Ghana Talks Radio, and this is your favorite delightful breakfast show when you get all your major news for the kickstart of your day. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you same time tomorrow.